Welcome to Empirical Pre-Pod. I'm your host, Tim Dave. Thank you so much for continuing this journey with me, where I get to sit and talk to all my favorite people. You guys remember the drill. Don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, whatever is going on out there. Let's get into today's episode. So we'll let everybody get acclimated to our heavy breathing and barely being conscious. So one of the things too when I started the show was the idea of introducing all of my friends and stuff like that slowly and kind of giving a lot of their backstory to their level of comfort, and then eventually over seasons bringing them back, probably starting like season 3, and then being like, oh, where have you been since and what's been going on, and kind of like the goal was to hope that casual listeners would care also, and they'd be like invested and be like, oh, I feel like I know this person because I heard their story, and oh, cool, this is what they've been up to since, and so on. But now we're starting early because we're doing. This is the 3rd episode, technically. By the end of the season, you'll have been on 4 episodes. Jason Kerry.
Hello, folks. I'm
Great.
back.
That's a great start.
You guys loved me the first time. No.
Yeah, did they?
I don't know. Nobody loves me.
Great. That feels more correct.
There we go.
Yeah. Tall cans in tow, so you guys can hear him slowly get drunk, just like last time. How lucky are we?
I've only got 2 cans this time. Last time I had a whole bottle.
Is that true?
Yeah, I drank a whole bottle of Captain.
That also droned on for hours.
Yeah, I stayed at your house till 10 a.m.
That's right. What pissed me off is that
We didn't go to sleep at all.
well, you went home and went to sleep, and you even told my sister, "Don't let him fall asleep."
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, that's a good point. So one of the things I did want to talk about is because I can't remember when we recorded. I know it was somewhere in the end of last year, so like October.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere in there.
I think so.
And then I guess not really shortly, but after that, come like what was it, February?
February, yeah.
February, your mom passed away.
Thank God. No.
Which was really, actually, it was hard. I think it was one of those things that was inevitable, but was actually really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I loved your mom also, and I always called her mom too when I saw her. And I haven't seen her in a long time, which is unfortunate, but I couldn't handle.
I think you saw her the last time I saw her.
That's true. Well, she was in a facility at that point, and she was asleep.
Yeah.
But like I hadn't gone to the house in a long time because I couldn't handle kind of what she was turning into, what was happening to her, because it fucking sucked. But I do think it's important to kind of talk about, and that's kind of where I wanted to start today, just because that was like 4 years.
Yeah, it started in 2020, right after her birthday, January 2020.
That's right. And what had happened initially?
I don't know. Well, none of us know.
Yeah.
I was at work. She was fine when I left for work. I talked to her, said bye, whatever, like I always did.
Yeah.
I came home and she was sitting on her bedroom floor, like just staring, like blankly into
Which is already
nothing.
like there was not a lot of room in that bedroom.
No, it was
There's
super
a king
tight.
bed,
Yeah.
2 like huge dresser, TV, like very minimal room to sit on the floor.
Yeah, there's just enough room to shimmy around the bed on all 3 sides.
Yeah, so it's weird to see her sitting on the floor.
Yeah. I found her. She was sitting, staring, like she was awake, eyes wide open, but not responsive whatsoever.
Yeah.
Nothing, like, didn't look like a struggle or anything. Like, didn't look like, I don't know. She was just sitting on the fucking floor.
Right.
I couldn't get her to respond, so I called an ambulance. No response still. Nothing. So they took her to the hospital, and she didn't talk for 3 weeks.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And she's very, very slow responses. Like, you could get her attention, but she would just kind of glance at you slowly and then glance back to what she was ever staring at.
Yeah.
And then when she started to talk, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks in, it was very muffled and slow.
Yeah.
So initially they thought she had a stroke.
Right. I remember that.
But they did the scans and everything, and
Yeah.
there was no stroke activity
Right.
in any of the scans.
Yeah.
So then they thought maybe heart attack. No signs of anything. So the best that they could come up was that she maybe fell and hit her head.
Yeah.
But there was no blood, so she didn't nothing.
Right. No blunt force trauma
Yeah.
anywhere.
So I mean, if you know my mom, she was always covered in scars and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But to
So-
get hit in the head like that would have left something.
Yeah, she would have had been hit.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
hard.
jarring also because she's a very mouthy lady, and very quick-witted, loud, and so it's huge. You notice it immediately when you walk into the house. Something's off.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then she slowly started to come back. Everything seemed fine.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, the doctors were like, well, it might just be a concussion. People come out of them different, stuff like that. Don't know what it is.
And that's true. If you feel like you could probably get a concussion and not show any kind of bruising outwardly.
Yeah.
So she had really long hair also. It's who knows?
Yeah. And she tripped over my dogs a lot.
That's true. Well, she had, before even any of this, she was very hunched over from having back surgery.
Yeah, I think in total she had 39 or 40 surgeries over her life.
Just in her back.
Well, her back, her knees,
in her knees, right.
her shoulders, her wrists.
Yeah.
They had to do some operation on her spine through her throat.
That doesn't even make sense. That sounds fake.
Yeah, they had to fuse something in her spine through her throat.
They probably said that after having to deal with her yelling at them. She's like, "Oh, this next thing has to go through your throat. Sorry."
So it's not weird to think that she could have tripped over her dog.
Yeah.
And hit her head on the TV stand.
Yeah.
Or something.
Especially at that time, for that tiny little Boulder Hill house, you had this giant mastiff.
Yeah, 270 pounds at one point.
Yeah. And a bulldog, a couple of beefs.
Yeah. So yeah, she started to come back. Everything seemed fine for a couple months at least.
Yeah.
But then it started getting weird. She would repeat herself to me.
Yeah.
Which she did a lot throughout my life, just because that's who she was. She would tell the same story a bunch. I think she was funny.
I feel like we're the same dickhead.
Yeah, a little bit. But it was little things she would repeat the same phrase 10 minutes after she just said it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. This is getting a little weird. It wasn't the normal, oh, I'm going to tell you this story that I told you a couple days ago.
Right.
It became oh, she told me this 3 hours ago. Now she's telling me all over again.
Yeah.
So we started to notice she was losing her short-term memory. But she had all of her long-term.
Right.
All of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, and then that just got worse and worse and worse. And it got to the point where she was repeating herself every 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And you tell her something and she's like, oh yeah, okay, definitely.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, you're like, did you do that thing? And she's like, what are you talking about? You know?
Yeah.
And it just got really weird.
Yeah. Again, also it's crazy because when you initially tell her, it seemed like she was there and on it. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh yeah, why are you even telling me? I got it.
Right. And if you know my mom, she's a royal pain in the ass. And I could not get her to go to any of her follow-up appointments.
Yeah.
She was supposed to go to a neurologist and all this other crap, a cardiologist and stuff. And she's just, I'm too tired, I don't want to go. Or, yeah, I'll go. And then, I'm not at the house. I come home, I'm like, hey, did you guys go to the thing? No, I didn't feel like it. So, no follow-ups, no aftercare. And then it just kept getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
ugly situation.
Right. Well, I mean, who knows what the story would have been if they would have gone to those follow-ups and things like that. But that went on for, like you said, years.
Yeah, I think it was pretty mellow for 2 years.
Yeah.
Slowly just losing memories.
Right.
And just, and then then around 2022, late 22, around Christmas time.
Yeah.
She started to forget people.
Right.
And our dog had passed away in that time, and she would still sit and call out his name for hours. And she's like, why isn't he fucking coming to the room?
IROC.
Yeah.
We don't have to protect his name.
Yeah.
'Cause also, he was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not even a dog guy, but
Great
that
dog.
big man, he was such a sweetheart and such a big.
He was a couch.
He was a couch, yeah. But he was such a good boy.
But yeah, so it slowly progressed, and then she started forgetting me.
Yeah,
She would think I was her brother's,
yeah,
stuff like that, and then that's when I started desperately trying to get her into aftercare.
See, I feel like that's when it really like switched and like,
Yeah.
because I remember talking a lot too and being like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like we didn't.
Yeah, I
weren't-
talk to you every day about it.
Yeah, we weren't really prepared, and I feel like that's why it's good to talk about too, is because we're getting to that age of starting to potentially have to deal with this with our parents and stuff, and some of us have. Like I know Annie was huge also, but yeah, it's crazy to think about like when you take that turn. First off, it's already emotionally like heavy.
That is the worst thing I've ever been
Yeah, and then trying to be like, where do I even start
through. Yeah.
to try to streamline this?
Yeah, and I am doctor illiterate. I don't
Yeah.
go to the doctor for anything. I never,
Yeah.
even, I probably should, but never really felt the need to. Nothing, everything just kind of goes away. That's ever been wrong with me.
Including your life, yeah. Good.
Yeah. But like, so trying to even get these appointments, I would schedule her neurologist appointments,
Right.
and they're like, I would get her there,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, oh, well, she shouldn't be here. She should be seeing this other doctor. And I'm like, well, that fucking doctor told me to come see you.
Right. Yeah.
And then she had gone to the emergency room. She would collapse and have seizures.
Yeah.
In this time, within these 4 years, a few times. They would send her to the emergency room, and the emergency room doctors would recommend neurologists and cardiologists and everything. So I would make these appointments and get her there and take off work and all this stuff. And then I met the cardiologist. They're like, nothing's wrong with her fucking heart. Like, why is she here?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, she's having seizures and all this. They said it could be related to this. And they're like, no. Like, she needs to be this, that, and then that. So it was just a big jerk around fest.
Yeah. I feel like it was like a year of getting nowhere.
Nowhere. Like, literally spinning my wheels. And her husband, as nice of a guy as he was no help whatsoever. So I was trying to do this while balancing a 60-plus hour a week job.
Right.
Going through a shitty breakup.
Yeah.
Dealing with this. Dealing with my dog dying. Like, all kinds of shit, like, and with no help whatsoever.
Yeah. That is definitely a lot.
So if you see me in the past few years and I seemed a little off, I apologize. I've been going through some shit.
Yeah. Well, that's really all I wanted was an apology.
Yeah, I feel like I owe you one the most. Fuck yourself.
Nah. Well, we're what the kids call ride or die.
Yeah.
But it's it went on for, like you said, for years. But at some point there was what felt like some sort of ray of hope.
Yeah. So I had finally gotten a neurologist. She got sent to Delnor.
Yeah. This is after 3 years.
After 3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And she had got, well, before all this, she started to take a turn for the worse and get, like,
Right.
violent.
That's right. Well, she would wander also.
She would wander.
She would just leave the house.
naked.
Yeah, like ambulances or police would bring her home.
Yeah, police would. One day she left the house at like 3 a.m,
Yeah.
butt naked. Cops found her freezing on the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
Right. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Like even bigger problem.
Yeah. So, and again, no one to help me. Like
Yeah.
her husband worked nights,
Right.
and I would be asleep,
Yeah.
or
and
I would
you
leave for
worked
work at 5 a.m.
super early days when he was asleep.
Yeah. And I was living at the house. I'm still there, but I was living there to help take care of her.
Yeah.
And it just got worse and worse. And it got to the point where even me living there, it was pointless.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything. I put locks on the outside of the doors, so when I would leave for work, I'd lock my mom in the house.
Yeah.
Like shit like that.
And which is like not for nothing. I remember we were both terrified because you're gone for 12
Yeah.
plus 16 hours a day sometimes, and just kind of hoping everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What am I gonna walk into today?
Yep.
Yeah.
And like she couldn't cook or anything for herself after
Yeah.
all this, and so I would have to be there for every meal for her, and like all this stuff. It just got really bad. But then, so we finally got her into a facility. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. But we got her into a facility, and she had an incident where she fell out of bed. And at the facility, if something like that happens, they automatically send you to the hospital to get checked up.
Yeah.
And so when she was there, a neurologist came to visit her room, and he actually was like, "Hey, I've seen shit like this before. Like, he's like, I want to scan her brain again. He's like, because there's stuff on there they didn't tell us was on there."
Right. Which is infuriating because
Oh my
3
God.
years prior, you've had dealt with the bouncing around,
Yeah.
including a neurologist.
So he had found fluid in her brain, which is more evidence that she probably hit her head at some point.
Right.
And so whatever happened inside of her skull, fluid moved in to repair it or fill the spot that was damaged.
Right.
So it was causing pressure between her skull and her brain.
Which is, I'm obviously I'm a moron, but presumably that's hitting a piece of the brain that functions a specific way that's causing some of these symptoms.
Right. And so he's like, I've seen this. He's like, we might be able to bring her back from this.
Yeah.
He's
we
like,
can drain the fluid.
yeah. He's like, I want to put a shunt in the bottom of her skull to drain the fluid, and see if that does anything.
Yeah.
Turns out we did the procedure, and she was just too far gone at that point. They got the fluid to drain, and they got the pressure to go way down, and she stabilized. The seizures stopped.
Yeah.
And everything, and like she wasn't as agitated.
Right.
And she was a lot,
Which
more
is
chill.
that is proving that that's the right thread to pull.
Yeah.
But by then you're talking 3 years of essentially brain damage.
Yeah, just deteriorating.
Right. So it was way too late because we missed all those appointments and because the original neurologist didn't feel like
Nobody
doing
gave
his
a
job.
shit. Like, I don't mean to speak ill of the healthcare system at least in Illinois.
Yeah.
But it was just a shuffle game. Like, they didn't care.
Well, not for nothing. Like at this point too, like if you can, like when I talked to Gina and you can hear the stuff that Catherine had to go through, and like being told how you feel and what you're talking about, and like just being like you said, dicked around so much, and you're like, nobody's listening and nobody seems interested.
Yeah.
To actually fix the problem.
Yeah. Like I took her to a hospital in Oak Brook, and we waited in the waiting room for an hour and a half to be in the office for 3 minutes for him to tell us there's nothing he could do for her.
Yeah.
And like he didn't check her out or anything. He just read it. Like I explained to him what was going on with her, and he goes, "Oh, I can't help with that." And I was like, "Well, do you know anybody who fucking can? Like what?"
That sounds like a phone call.
Yeah, I was like, "What can I like? Can somebody please take my hand here and help me?"
Yeah. Right.
Like you can see her sitting on your table. You can see what state she's in. Is there anything I can do?
Yeah.
No help whatsoever.
Yeah, that was the crazy part too when they would let her come home.
Oh, they would send her home when nobody was there.
Like nobody is at home.
They would send her home in an ambulance and just wheel her into the house and be like, "Here you go."
Yeah. Yeah, like it's ridiculous when you like see that firsthand. This kind of stuff, like when you hear a story, you're like, it's got to be a little exaggeration there. Like, there's no way that could happen. And then you see it and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. I've yelled at ambulance drivers. I know it's not their fault. They're doing their job.
Sure.
The hospital told them what to do, but I'm like, she's not responding whatsoever. She's catatonic on a goddamn stretcher.
Right.
You see that nobody is home.
Right.
Like, luckily I had gotten home when they were like leaving.
Yeah.
I was like, what is your fucking plan here?
Right.
Like, you wheeled her in, put her on her bed, and then left her. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's insane. Like, the shit I've been through.
It's crazy to see it on that
shit
level
she
too.
was through. That's the worst part.
Right. Yeah.
Not me.
Because she went through so much and like, I feel like couldn't process it, but like,
yeah, that
at the end of the day had to go through it
I
alone.
think that was the hardest part, was how terrified you could tell she was.
Right.
All the time.
I couldn't imagine like when you start losing your memories like that in the first place, and then like it's just strangers shuffling you around, and even when you're quote unquote home, it's not familiar to you.
Yeah, she didn't know her house anymore.
Yeah,
Like her memory, because like I said, she retained all of her long term. She reverted back to childhood.
Yeah.
At some point.
Right.
Where she was like, she thought she lived upstairs at her mom's house.
Yeah.
And she thought I was her brother and stuff like that. And she would ask when mom was coming home.
Yeah, I wonder if some of that is like, subconsciously protecting of just like everything's kind of failing. Let's replay better memories, like
I
just
hope
to
so.
kind of protect somebody.
It's extremely hard to watch.
Yeah, it was, well, and I remember too when she was finally into this facility. I feel like we genuinely thought it was a good thing.
Yeah.
At least at first, even when we went to see her, we were like, "This is awesome! Like they're taking care of her and everything's great." But even that then took a turn.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, they are also
Not giving a
care
shit.
less
Yeah.
whatsoever. And I mean, in a place like that is like shifted. Like my mom worked at the county home, and so I've heard horror stories. And it's like it's such a you don't know what you're gonna get minute to minute, shift to shift. Somebody having a bad day, so they're not giving it 100%. Like it's so
Yeah.
inconsistent.
I mean, you were there. You saw her nurse, how overworked even her nurse
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Her nurse was sweating her ass
Yeah,
off.
and she was sweet as pie.
Yeah,
and I'm
super
sure
nice.
she's amazing at her job.
But I mean, there was maybe 10 nurses for 75 people.
But that was just on the floor we were on.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just sucks.
It does suck, and that's kind of the thing is like we couldn't figure out what to do or how to facilitate any steps.
Yeah, she didn't have any money saved or anything.
Right.
No way to facilitate and getting her into a better place.
Yeah,
Anything like that. So like we kind of were just dealing with what we had to deal with, which I also feel horrible about. But I mean, you don't plan for that.
right.
That's shit you don't think about. You
Yeah.
know, like she stopped paying her life insurance and all this stuff like years prior. She blew through all of her savings and stuff you don't think about that you're gonna need eventually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when my dad died, it was similar to where like he didn't even pay the tax on his house. We had to abandon his house. Like
Yeah.
we got nothing.
Yeah.
And just had to clean up mess after mess.
Right.
And throw away all of his stuff. Like even stuff that you're like, oh, it'd be cool to keep this, but where the hell am I gonna put it until I can have somewhere for it to go? So it's like, oh, I guess we just shit can it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did that surgery on January 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
We were in Florida when they did it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I thought I was coming home to good news.
Right.
And I came home to okay news.
Yeah.
And then I kept getting phone calls from the nurses being like, hey, we really think you should change your mom over from full code to do not resuscitate. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, everybody said she was doing way better.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening? Like, she's collapsing, like, way fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like, obviously, if something happens, save her.
Right.
Like, whatever, you know? And then, like you said, like, the nursing home just stopped seeming to give a shit.
Right.
Like, they just wanted to, like, they wanted her bed.
It's weird but it felt so fast where
Yeah.
it was literally like things are at least stable now.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's what a weird conversation to be like, you should probably put her on Do Not Resuscitate.
Yeah. And then, Brad, her husband, went and saw her on the 17th of February.
Yeah.
And I guess he signed the Do Not Resuscitate because they talked him into it.
Which, like, again, I'm sure, great intentions, whatever, but, like, I guarantee they just put it in front of me. He's like, yeah, whatever you need.
Yeah, he didn't know what they were talking about.
Sure.
I guarantee.
Yeah.
He's sweet as pie, but he's not the brightest. And I'm not any better when it comes to medical stuff, but
But
He's
we're
worse
at least
than
going
me.
to ask questions
yeah.
and be like, annoying about it and be like, no, explain it to me.
Yeah.
And make it real simple.
Yeah. And then I guess sometime between then and when I got home from work on the 18th, she had passed away.
Yeah.
So I got a phone call. It was like, hey, we're trying to get a hold of Brad. I'm like, oh, sorry, I don't know. He's not answering. And they were like, oh, well, can you let him know that your mom died? That's how they dropped the news to me.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, when was she even doing bad? And they were
Yeah.
like, I don't really know. I'm the day nurse. And then she was like, but we need Brad to call. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And that's how the news got dropped to me.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So here we are.
So here we are.
So yeah, she passed away, unfortunately. And if you guys knew my mom, you knew you loved her. She loved you way more than you guys loved her. That's not to be mean.
Yeah, no, not in a
she
shitty way,
loved every one of my friends like they were her own. Like even if she
Yeah.
didn't see you guys, she talked about you guys all the time.
Yeah. She was so
always
mean.
asking me what's going on.
Such a
what's
mean
going on
lady.
with Dan Walsh?
I'll
What's
tell you
going
how
on with
mean
Andy?"
your mom was.
I think they know how mean my mom is. Look how I turned out.
Yeah. I remember when I worked at Best Buy in Oswego, and she came in to see me, and she walked in, and it's just the loudest hillbilly. Because I was the warehouse and LP manager, or supervisor, whatever, and I could hear her from the front door, and I'm in the back warehouse. She's like, "Is Tim here?" JJ's up front.
Gross.
Yeah, he's in the warehouse. She's like, tell his fat ass out here. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So then I had to go and walk her through and explain electronics to her for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And she didn't buy shit, did she?
no. Actually, that might have been when she got her laptop.
All right.
Like her first one. But yeah, man, she was something else.
Yeah.
But she was awesome. And like anything, at the end of the day, it's like she was family, and despite any of the stuff, it wasn't like a toxic relationship where you're like, oh, I have to cut this person out. It was like,
Oh,
no,
never.
this is the kind of family I like. Like, all right, let's razz each other.
Yeah, my mama, she's my sweetheart.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, but as we kind of get older, like some of this stuff is gonna happen, and I still don't have the answers. But I would implore people to try to be as prepared as you can.
Yeah.
Or at least to have
It's a hard lesson to learn.
an idea of where to look or start asking questions.
Yeah.
Like I'm lucky now.
Also, pay attention, because they might not be paying attention to what's happening to themselves.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's true too.
That's something I learned too.
Well, it's also like not for nothing. It can be a tough conversation to bring that sort of thing up, especially in the infancy as it's happening, because they're gonna. Nobody
Like when
wants to
she
admit
started losing her memory,
Yeah.
I would tell her, she's like, no, I'm fucking. She's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just
Yeah.
getting old. Fuck
Right.
you. Fuck you. I'm getting old.
Yeah. But it's easy to write it off like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because even I'm like, I've repeated myself a bunch, or
Yeah.
somebody tell me
Every
something.
podcast, you repeat yourself. And you hook onto a phrase that you repeat through the whole episode.
Listen,
Are you dying?
if I, aren't we all? If I already call myself out, feel free to not say anything.
You're at your show. We're in your office.
But that's true. Also, to make it even worse, is not only do I stick onto a phrase, it's almost like the motif of that episode.
Yeah.
But I have been thinking of taking like a speech class, just to make better talk.
Yes.
Cause I do like I take a lot of pauses and I say a lot. And I'm like what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to not pause.
But part of me is also like I don't want it to feel like I'm a professor or a psychologist. Like the last episode, somebody is when I had Amy Blaze on, and she's like, "Is this like a Dr. Phil episode?" And I'm like, "Oh, God, I hope not." Like I want it to feel like a natural conversation.
Yeah.
And that's how people talk. They sound
Excuse me.
gross.
Natural conversation. Go fuck yourself.
Got a point there, I suppose.
But yeah, it's hard to not pause during something like, especially a lot of these people you're learning about.
Yeah.
I
that's
can't
true.
think of fucking questions that fast. And if I don't take a pause, I just spit out dumb shit from my stupid mouth.
Well, that's not for nothing. So do I.
I feel like you've done a
is-
good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But the key is the person I'm talking to,
Yeah.
where I can give the slightest little thing and they're actually interesting, so it makes me keep going.
Oh, not me.
If they're
I'm
not interesting, then I'm like, oh, well, now what the fuck did I...
Yeah.
That's when I'll start filling in. I'm like, well, I guess I'll talk about me.
Yeah.
My...
You do that a lot with me because I'm not interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's okay.
Well, you're like talking to a wall, where it's like...
That's true. I'm a hard-headed something.
Right, because I can sit here and eloquently spout off this wonderful sentence.
I think it's just because it's coming from you. I don't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
fucking hear it.
Yeah, which is fair. We have a different dynamic. But I could have this beautifully worded question, and you'll turn it into a yes or no question. I'm like, look, Dick, I'm gonna need you to open up a little bit. Like, come on.
Well, no.
All right. I guess
I open up with you all the time. We talk every day, pretty much.
Yeah, but I want the world to hear it.
Ew. I like keeping that shroud of mystery because the world kind of still likes me.
That's true.
The quieter I am.
If they only
Unless-
knew the truth. That's how I feel too. Like, 'cause I can say the same thing. People are always bugging me.
This
to-
table needs to be 6 inches closer.
Yeah, I'll tell Melissa.
Yeah. Like your beer table needs to be a little closer to the couch.
Can you? Yeah, that'll be the note. I'll be like, they're upstairs in the office. Can you move that table just 6 inches over?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's her job.
Yeah. She's your boss.
She, Yeah, she's not, but we'll see what the future holds.
But yeah. But I do want to thank you and everybody who helped me through all of that, because a lot of you did reach out to me and help me.
Well, it felt like like if it, now you fucked me up. I can't talk right.
You gonna cry?
No, I'm not a baby.
I cried on the way here thinking about it.
Yeah, I've had.
Dude, that's crazy too. We've lost a lot of people.
Yeah,
I've lost my dad.
It's been
too.
a tough. Yeah.
I'm an orphan now.
Well, I actually wanted to get into that a little bit.
But like, this is the most I've cried in the past 6-7 months.
It's
than
been
I've cried
heavy,
in my whole life.
And not for nothing, like.
And it comes from nowhere.
Yeah, it's in waves, right? Like you don't know what sets it off.
It's literally, yeah.
When it gets set off, you're like, I don't know if you're like me, where when something does set it off, I'm like, well, let's keep crying.
Yeah. Dude, I was reading there was like a nice video on Instagram today of some guy like thanking his fans.
Yeah.
And just like I think it was Mike Posner or somebody like about where he came from and his ups and downs, and I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Like, why am I emotional?
Well, it's nice.
I was never this emotional until she passed away.
Boy, you're connecting.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, like your emotional anchor was your mom, and now that it's gone, I feel like it's.
Now I'm just floating into sad sea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to an extent, like, kinda.
Yeah.
I feel like you and I are the only emotional anchors left.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at us. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
But I just did what I want to talk about. And when you bring up your dad too, I was having this thought today, like, because we're kind of known to be self-deprecating. And one of the points I always like to make is a lot of that is just for shock value, like reaction.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't necessarily believe it.
The way I've dealt with this.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And
This has been the hardest thing I've ever dealt with, and it's been the darkest jokes and shit I've ever made.
Yeah, I remember even when
we started this podcast where I said, "Thank God my mom was dying."
Yeah, well, even that day, because when it happened, you came out and we just kind of cruised for like 3 hours, which is how we deal with our emotions.
Around, listen to sad music.
Yeah, and just drive around and fucking in disbelief, basically, and be like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
There wasn't a lot of thoughts floating around in my head.
Nah, and there really was, but like
I just needed somebody to be there.
It's very rare that like that'll happen, because usually if it's overly emotional, we're like trying to work shit out or be like, at least like talking through it. But that was like, there was just a comfortable silence to be like, I just need somebody here, and let's just drive around. There's no destination. We just fucked off for a couple hours, and it was just like, with Lily.
Yeah, probably puppy. She sat in your lap.
Yeah, that's true. She has halitosis, but she's also such a good girl.
She is.
But yeah, it was insane. But when I think about our self-deprecating attitudes, I was like I said, most of it is for play and just for shock value, just because we have that weird comedian thing where we want to say something just to get somebody's reaction, not because it's true. But on the flip side to that, I'm always curious because of our upbringing. Like your dad, I would hesitate. Is there a race happening outside?
Sounds like, yeah.
Jesus Christ. I would hesitate to say that you were abandoned.
No.
But at the same time...
Are you talking about by my dad?
Yeah, just your dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Weird word.
Yeah, it's because I would hesitate to say abandoned, but at the same time, like, he made other choices over you.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I don't know if it was abandonment. I have this weird thing where I sympathize with abusers.
It's a trauma response.
Yeah.
Because you always are dealing with trauma.
Like, I'm like, his addiction.
Right.
It wasn't his fault, but...
Well, but that's the thing, is he chose that over you.
Still wrong. But I don't hold a grudge.
No, yeah, for sure. It's not about the grudge. It's
I turned out okay.
What I'm curious is, like, I don't have that exact situation, but I grew up in a very abusive household, primarily from my father, who was a psychotic person.
Yeah.
And
kept his dog in a cage.
Yeah, well, when it wasn't
you.
Yeah, well, if it misbehaved, he would boot it across the room. Also, like, he's just
probably
a crazy
safer in the
person.
cage.
Yeah, but on the same hand, so most of that was geared towards. I'm the middle child. You know, me and my sister, and my older brother is old enough there where he could come and go as he pleased.
Right.
So I get the brunt of everything. So
Well, plus you're an asshole.
yeah,
So you probably deserve most of it.
it always makes me laugh to think of like getting beaten for being the same asshole that's beating you.
Yeah.
Like
It's like punching a mirror.
you're right. Like nice work. Like maybe take this out on yourself. That'd be great. And that's kind of that's the two options, right? Somebody disappears in general, so you're not being raised around potential trauma, or somebody keeps traumatizing you and you're kind of stuck in it.
To be fair, it was trauma at home too. My mom, as fun and shitty, as she was, she also had her addictions. She was addicted to pain pills.
Sure, yeah.
Like ordering them from Mexico online.
Yeah, she had
thousands upon thousands into debt.
So many.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
There's
seeing the
times-
jar. I'd be like, Jesus Christ.
Well, there's times I would come home and she's just fucking tripping balls on the couch.
Yeah.
Like, talking to fucking Daffy Duck.
Right. Not for nothing. She was in a lot of pain.
Yeah,
She was hurt at work.
Yeah.
That's why she had some of these.
It all
39
started. Her
surgeries.
pain actually started in high school. She crashed.
Really?
Yeah, she crashed a car and broke both collarbones
Oh,
and both
shit, really?
arms.
I didn't even know that.
And usually when people break both collarbones, they die.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
So that's when her pain started.
That actually kind of makes sense too, of like, because she was, after all those surgeries, she was so hunched over and just looked in constant pain. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, that started way earlier then.
Yeah, her pain wasn't fake. She saw
No,
multiple pain doctors and shit.
Yeah.
So I get why, but also I've taken pain pills.
Right.
And they're fucking amazing.
I've actually.
This is
never,
why I don't
I've
take
never,
anything.
I've never taken them, and I've always been afraid to, like, because of stuff like that. Where I'm
They're
like,
incredible.
I'll bet.
This is 100% why I don't take them. Like when I've had my knee surgeries, I'll take them like the first day I'm out of the hospital. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure heroin's amazing also, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
You ever had Dilaudid? It's amazing.
I don't want to start.
Dilaudid is just hospital heroin.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible.
Listen,
When I get my kidney stones, that's what they give you.
Oh, you know what? I had that kidney stone that one time, so
Did you go to heaven?
I'm.
Did everything get all warm and everything was fine?
I can tell you that I don't remember anything bad. So
Yeah.
Other than that,
They either
guy,
gave you morphine or Dilaudid.
Yeah, it was definitely one of
They're
them.
both amazing.
But I remember being like, hey, like I don't do stuff like that. So like,
Yeah.
you're gonna look at me and be like, this guy's gonna need a lot. Please don't, because I'm pretty susceptible.
I always have them double it up. I'm like, they're not going to overdose me, so let's do this.
It's just funny the dynamic there. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, better make it a double, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's funny because I won't do drugs.
yeah.
Like outside of the
the
hospital's
hospital.
doing them. I'm like, hey, they're not gonna let me die in here.
It's probably the safest place to do drugs.
Yeah, exactly. But like, that's why I didn't drink till I was in my 20s
Yeah, me neither.
because of my dad.
26,
and
yeah.
because he was an alcoholic and a cokehead.
Right.
And I don't do drugs to this day because my mom was a pillhead and my dad was a cokehead.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of stuck with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to say, I wasn't traumatized just from my dad. It was all around.
Sure. Yeah.
So I had to like we're getting at. I had to figure out ways to cope with not being sad and shit all the time.
Right. Well, that's I've said this to you before. This is not something that I'm calling you out on, but that's why you keep yourself busy 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. You cannot slow down and just sit. Because I think
I hate silence.
I think those things start creeping up. Like I don't know if they have an actual like whatever, but I feel like if you sit long enough, you're gonna be like, I don't want to sit here and think. Let's go fucking do something.
Mm-hmm. That's also why for a long time I was really destructive.
Yeah.
To myself.
Is that true?
Yeah, like when my DUI and all that.
Oh,
dumb,
yeah, I
dumb
guess
shit
that's true.
that I did, and
Yeah. We went hard
not
there
taking
for a while.
life serious
We went real hard for a while.
for a very long time.
Yeah.
I just wanted the party to keep going
Yeah.
because I didn't want to think about everything.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it catches up with you eventually too. But that's what I was one of
waiting for
the.
that.
See, I sit and dwell.
Yeah, I'm doing that now, and I hate me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Starting to get to know yourself, and you're like, oh,
like because I'm in my truck all fucking day.
that'll like really change your shit.
So
right there.
if I don't have a funny podcast on, or
Yeah.
a new album comes out, or something to keep me fucking busy,
yeah,
I start thinking of some crazy shit.
yeah, it sucks when you're kind of stuck with your thoughts. That's like when I was in the factory too. Like you had to wear earplugs because it's loud in there. So like, there's nothing.
You can only hear your thoughts.
And you're like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm gonna deal with me all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I was thinking about earlier today is kind of this idea of, because we're pretty outgoing people,
For the most part.
and I feel
Still
like
really
could-
shy though.
well, that's the thing is like I think we're both, especially when I was younger, I was incredibly
I'm an
shy.
observer for like the first 3 or 4 interactions.
Right, like I've got to really be comfortable with who I'm around. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you're still pretty reserved, but if I'm inebriated,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go out and make a scene.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm like, I'm pretty reserved until I'm comfortable, and then, but I can make a conversation with anybody.
I can't. I'm fucking horrible.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty good at it.
I always feel so awkward and stupid.
Well, I think if you lean into that and just know that it is awkward and stupid,
Yeah.
they kind of respond to that.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, with all these people I interact with at work, like,
Yeah.
if I'm emptying, like, my dump truck at work, and the guy at the place is standing right next to me the whole
Yeah.
time I'm emptying, it's so awkward.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck away. Just let me do my job. Like, I don't want to small talk with you, bro.
I do despise.
And I've been going to
small
those
talk.
same places for 7 years. And I know these people.
Yeah, you're like.
Like, I don't want to talk about my day. I don't want to
Yeah.
talk about my office. I don't want to talk about why are you getting sticky salt. Like, goddamn, just go away.
Sticky salt. You should call the salt guy. I don't know.
Yeah. Fucking get away from my truck.
That's crazy. Because I would sit there and I just like saying dumb stuff.
Girlfriends' families, like Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll go over there and not say a fucking word the whole time I'm there, and I think I'm having a good time. And
Right.
people are like, I hear later, like, my mom wants to know what's wrong with you. Like, oh, I was having a great time. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
fucking weird around people, man.
That's tough though because
Especially holidays. You too.
holiday like family stuff in general makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, you touched on that with Gina's episode.
Well, not for nothing. Like Gina comes like from a really close family, and I've
Yeah.
been lucky to spend some time with them. So like they're pretty awesome. But it's like the Walshes too. They just they're also amazing and like they like each other. And I'm like I don't understand.
I don't think I've ever been as open with another family other than my own as I have been with the Walshes.
Yeah, and they'll let you like
Yeah.
not for nothing like they,
His dad kisses me.
yeah.
That's weird. My dad never kissed me.
Right. His dad calls me Timbers.
Yeah. But yeah, like all my other friends, like even your mom, I'm like still a little pensive around, and
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I love your mom. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
She makes me laugh a lot.
She is accidentally
But I
hilarious.
just have this weird, like it's a family thing. Like
Yeah.
my family doesn't do family shit.
Yeah.
Like 2 people reached out from my family when my mom died. That was it. My uncle Chuck came over the day after she died. Like he drove a semi to my house,
Yeah.
and then my cousin Jamie. That's it.
That's wild though because like
They're like,
way more
are we gonna
people.
do anything like a service? I'm like, I don't know anybody's numbers. I don't know where anybody lives anymore. I don't know who's still alive. Like,
Yeah. You said they were maybe gonna. Did they ever do anything, or did they just?
No.
They never put together.
nothing.
'Cause I thought they were talking about it, and you were like, yeah, just she's like,
Yeah, I told them to let me know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, now you guys give a shit.
Right. Yeah. Well, they were never around.
Yeah.
They're like we just mapped out the 4-year deterioration. Nobody said anything.
Half of them didn't even know.
Right. Yep.
You know, and I don't have a way to get a hold of anybody. I don't know anybody. Half of
Yeah.
them don't use Facebook because they're old.
Yeah.
Like that's the only other way I would know how to get a hold of anyone.
Yeah. That's another kind of eye-opening thing is like realizing you don't have the information. That's what I was getting to too. Where I feel lucky now because after my dad died too, it was like no preparation, no will, nothing was organized. Like my mom is so over-organized.
You're gonna appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, like yeah, and like so everything is organized. There's lock boxes. There's keys. There's paperwork. There's signatures.
What if she dies with the keys in her pocket and you have to reach into her dead body and get them?
Yeah,
What if she swallows them right before she dies?
that would be
God,
hilarious.
that'd be
Yeah, That,
You have to wait for her to poop them out.
well, she'd be dead.
You poop when you die.
Well, I guess that's true.
But I don't know if they digest.
It'd just be an
Might have to
in
wait
and
till they cut them out.
out. Yeah, I
This is
don't know.
gross.
This. I appreciate what you're
It'd be a
trying to
good
do.
joke, though,
Yeah,
on her end.
it would be a good joke.
Through her end.
Little, we got there.
You got a wheezy laugh.
I've been sick. Like I'm trying so hard not to cough. There's the sound we're looking for. And it's like making me want to cough more, but I don't want to cough into the microphone. And I still haven't got my fucking point out that I've been trying to make.
Yeah, no, we talk too
hours.
much.
Yeah.
We skip around a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel bad for like people that listen to the show and I'm like, do they have ADD as well? I hope they're following this.
It's weird because I don't think I have ADD until I talk to you.
Well,
Everything else, I'm pretty focused and I get my shit done.
I think it's the
I
way
talk to you and it's
I
doo-doo-doo.
talk is sporadic.
Yeah, and we cut each other off a lot.
A lot, and we tangent a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's similar. Like I talk pretty fast. My sister's like that. If you get me, my sister, and my mom in a room, it's way too fast. It's moving around so crazy.
So bitchy.
Oh my god! It's very catty. But also, it's about nothing.
Yeah.
And it goes on for 3 hours at least.
Yeah,
Those assholes talk on the phone for like 7 hours.
This blows my fucking mind.
It's insane. It's insane. What are they talking about?
What is there to talk about?
Nothing. I don't know. But
yeah.
the point I was trying to make. I guess I just proved what they're talking about because we just did it for an hour about fucking nothing.
Has it been a fucking hour already?
46 minutes.
Jesus Christ, dude. These go so fast.
I know, it doesn't feel like nothing. And then all of a sudden you're like, who's going to listen to it for 3 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
180 something people, that too.
I like that you're hanging your hat on that.
That's right.
But I've been wondering, because we just said like you can't sit still and you have these things to do. And we kind of self-deprecated, and I feel like we use that as a defense mechanism because we want people to like us. And it's almost like if we put ourselves down, they have no choice but to put us up.
Yeah, you can't lower me any lower than I've lowered
It's
myself.
kind of like the 8 Mile effect.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah. Spaghetti.
Yeah, exactly.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, where I'm gonna put myself down. You won't have anything to say. You're gonna have to be like, I like this guy. But I wonder if that comes from kind of the way we were treated at home. Is being like I'm immune to words and put downs, like
Yeah.
because I was called everything you could ever imagine and worse by the guy who said he liked me the most.
Yeah.
So like when somebody's talking shit, I'm just like I have
You know my
nothing.
mom, grade A
Yeah.
shit talker. Hey,
Right.
tell him to bring his fat ass out here.
You're right.
Yeah.
I lived through that.
Yeah. So
But yeah, it's
I
the
lived
same
through that
thing.
for 41 years.
Yeah. But I feel like because we can also shit talk pretty well if
Yeah.
we need to as well. But I feel like that's kind of where that self-deprecating comes from, is like we wear it out as an armor, where it's like we were kind of raised that way in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Even if our parents were doing it in jest, it's still, you're a kid.
How
It
often
still
does it?
creates a thing.
How often does it weird you out when people get mad at you for doing it to yourself?
Well, it's a lot more prevalent now. All of a sudden, like over the
Really?
last year.
See,
I feel
it's
like.
my whole life. Everybody's been like, "Don't do that." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the fuck? I'm doing it."
Maybe
to me.
maybe I'm noticing it more because I'm consciously trying to get out of it.
Why?
Because I
You
don't.
fucking traitor. I can't be the only piece of shit.
Well, because it's one thing to the jokey part of it. I still like, and the shock value I still like, and I think that I'm gonna say that there's some value to that. That's stupid.
I don't know
But
if value is the word.
it's I've already said
Security?
it. Yeah, the security of it, that makes more sense. But saying other things too, like not really thinking about it and just kind of idly throwing words out there, I think is effective. And I think what's starting to shift for me is, I've said this before, but like before I started the show, I went like 6 months to a year of just listening to motivational snippets on my drive to work every day. And it's like it starts changing your mentality. And it's not yours, mine.
Wasn't saying no to you.
Oh, you're just shaking your head?
Yeah, I was just thinking.
You just Ray Charleston over there?
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. But it's the same, like, and now I've been listening to him while I go to bed and stuff still too, and I'm like, it does start changing because thoughts become things. And so if those little pieces that I know aren't jokes and I'm still saying them out loud, then they are affecting me, and I'm still taking some of that with me, whether it's intentional or not. So I want to weed through the bullshit, and like, there's got to be a line to be able to still have fun and be absurd and ridiculous just to do that, and also be like, no, I'm not the piece of shit that I pretend to be or think I am. I'm actually like pretty good, but I'm trying to get there and actually believe and understand that.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
I don't really think I'm a piece of shit.
Right.
I think I'm a very kind gentleman.
Yeah, you're an
very
uncomfortably
polite.
nice man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Because I come off as kind of like a standoffish, fuck me.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a funny juxtaposion where
I'm polar opposite.
you come off as the standoffish one, and you're like the nicest man.
Overly nice.
And then
Well,
I'm
a lot
like
of
the
people would
outspoken, loud one who's like...
I've been chastised for being too nice.
Yeah, we've been taking advantage of a bunch.
Yeah, I get that part of it. But
Yeah.
that aside, like other, like not being taken advantage of situations, like
Yeah.
I kind of give more than I probably should to people.
Yeah.
Like just out of, not even them asking for it. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, let me go above and beyond.
Yeah, but like, not for nothing, I think
And then other people are like, what the fuck are you doing?
But I think
Like, why are you doing?
that's how people are naturally.
I would like to hope so. That's why I don't think I'm weird.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's weird in the sense that a lot of people lose that along the way. So I feel like, because I feel the same way. That's what we were just, before we got on, we were complaining about jobs and stuff too, where it's like, I want to do my job, and I want to do it the best I can do it. And these other dickheads refuse to even do the bare minimum, and it's ruining the entire experience.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you take that into life, it's the same idea. Where like, why wouldn't you be going above and beyond? Like, we can only live for each other, and we can easily take care of each other. Why are you going against that? So it's weird when you see somebody like that doesn't feel that way. But I think when you break it down to natural instinct, that's how people are. They're loving, and they want to connect, and they want to take care of each other. Something might have happened along the way that's gotten in the way of that.
Right. So why do you think we do it still? Like, if we both don't think the things that fly out of our stupid fat mouths,
Yeah.
why do we do it?
Well, and
I don't know
yeah.
any other friends. Like, everybody gives themselves a little shit, but we don't stop giving ourselves shit.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that's what I've been like.
What the
dwelling
fuck is
on.
wrong with it? Is there something really wrong with it? Maybe we deserve to give ourselves shit?
I think that subconsciously we think that, and I think that's what we're actually trying to weed through, is why we keep telling ourselves that narrative. And I think that that's the narrative that comes from the trauma and the abuse indirectly. Like, I don't think our parents set out to do that. I think that's the result of kind of what we have been through separately, and that's how it's manifesting in our fucked up brains.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because like we're also very funny. I think we're very.
I think
funny.
we're pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure people can argue with that, and it is subjective. I get it, like whatever. But that's one of the things I do like to hang my hat on is like I feel like I'm funny.
I think you're funny.
If nothing else, like I at least have I have a good sense of humor, and I try not to take things personally and stuff like that, unless it's a blatantly personal thing. But yeah, so that I agree. Like, where does that come from? Is it as simple as we just want to be liked, and this kind of forces people to have to compliment us, or at least if it doesn't force them to compliment us, it forces them to look past what we're already identifying as a weakness in our personality.
Yeah, I don't ever think about it like that.
That's why I dwell and you're out
Yeah.
busy doing stuff.
I don't know. I also feel like mine, I don't know about yours, but mine goes up tenfold when I'm with you.
You're what?
My self-deprecation. Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, we feed off each other.
oh, God.
And I think that's
It
where
gets
people...
bad.
Like, yeah. And I think that's
We've
the
bummed out
difference.
whole parties before.
Well, we have a history of kind of going to a party and then splitting off.
Yeah, every party.
Every single party, and then slowly people will come visit us,
Yeah.
and we'll essentially do bits on each other
Yeah.
until they leave laughing.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I guess successful party.
But yeah, I notice like when I'm with other people, I'm not as hard on myself.
Yeah,
I'm usually don't even talk about myself with
Right.
other people.
yeah.
But with you, goddammit.
Well, I feel like especially over the last year or two, I've really held a mirror up to yourself.
We don't own mirrors at my house.
Yeah, well, you have
gross.
a mirror in the bathroom and it starts at the neck.
Yeah, the only good part of me. The neck.
That guy's got a great neck.
Look at that.
Is there two of them?
Not yet. Getting there.
Yeah. I shaved my beard. I found a couple of extra necks. You can see them on Facebook.
Oh my god, it's my favorite pictures. I don't know, the one with your mustache is I think my favorite picture.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah.
I don't know. Is it a defense mechanism or is it just because I want people to laugh, and that's like the cheapest way I know I can get a laugh.
Not for nothing. I think because there's two ways to get somebody to laugh immediately.
'Cause I don't like making fun of other people.
Right, and that's the other way.
I hate it.
You either make fun of yourself, or you make fun of somebody else.
Yeah.
And because of where we've been,
Either way, it's cheap.
Definitely,
It's a cheap laugh.
Yeah, but because of where we've been, we don't want other people to feel like we've felt.
Yeah.
And we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And since we kind of feel like we're immune to it anyway, and I think that's where it started, but eventually it becomes these words are holding us back to an extent as well, because there's definitely, we were talking before too about how you sometimes have a tendency to live in the past, not for real, but at least wonder what would these other decisions have panned out to look like. And I feel like those are tied to this same idea of kind of being like, okay, if we weren't so self-deprecating and telling us these narratives, would we have made different choices throughout life? Is it that serious in the first place, or are we really, really reaching?
I never thought about that till right now. Now you're gonna send me down a whole nother path.
I didn't mean to just blow your mind.
Fucking
like that.
Monday sitting in my truck like, is that why I'm fucking weird?
I can't wait to the text that just says "fuck you" on Monday.
Yeah. Damn you.
This is the kind of shit that keeps me up at night. Because I'm genuinely curious, and the inner work is really important to me, and
I haven't done any of that.
Right, and I've been doing it for the
Everybody
last...
keeps telling me to.
Right, well, and I feel like you're slowly... I've
I
been
need to
doing it
do
for like the
outer
last
work
10 years.
first.
Yeah, no shit. I should have started with the outside. At least then people have something to look at. Like, I'd have something to look at. I'm doing it right now.
Yep. That's how it works.
I can't stop. But it's true though. Like because I've been doing what I can, probably just over 10 years now. But even you said, like, I think you said in the last episode we did together that I've at least shown you what boundaries look like, healthy boundaries to put in place with other people.
Yeah.
So that
I'm
because
learning that.
Right, and you have a tendency to be taken
I
advantage
feel bad
of.
every time.
But I feel like it's still, I feel like you can understand still how critical it is.
Yeah.
And the feeling bad part isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means you're a nice boy.
Yeah.
But you
I had to
can't
set
let
a boundary
somebody
the other day. I told you about it.
Yeah.
I felt awful.
Right.
I don't think I've ever sent a sadder text.
Yeah.
Like, not sad to anybody but me. I was
Yeah.
like, I can't believe I'm backing down on something.
Yeah.
That I just want to help with, but I know
Right.
I shouldn't.
Yeah. But it's tough. Like, that's a particular situation also.
Yeah, for sure. We won't get into all that.
Yeah. But it's even more heartbreaking when you are bending over backwards to help somebody and you have to set a boundary because they're not ready to receive help.
Yeah.
And you have to watch the results of that.
yeah.
That fucking
You're just
sucks.
draining yourself for no
Yeah.
reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not for nothing, we were talking about kind of the loss we've dealt with. We've seen where this road leads, and it just,
Yeah.
like,
That's a hard one.
yeah, it fucking sucks for sure. So, I don't know. I didn't. I'm still caught up on blowing your mind. I can't wait to hear you dwelling on the things.
I'm gonna do it right now and ruin the whole show.
Yeah, we can just sit in silence for like 20 minutes.
I can't sit in silence, man. It's weird.
Yeah, he'll go. Yeah,
Also, my ears are hot.
yeah,
Are your ears hot?
they are. I meant to change the temperature before we started recording. This is a little toasty.
Yeah, I'm about to take my shirt off.
Hell
Clip
yeah.
this mic to my chest hair.
Hell yeah. Can you braid your chest hair? That'd be great. Just integrate the microphone.
We can try. You'll have to do it. I can't look down like that.
You can't look at your chest.
I won't look at my chest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Should I ride home on my motorcycle with my shirt off?
I wish you would. Just that vest, please.
And my helmet?
Yeah.
It's kind of like nobody knows it's me in there. It's kind of nice.
If you had your shirt off, we'd
Except
know.
it squeezes my fat ass cheeks out.
I feel like if I saw you without your shirt, I'd be like, that's definitely Jay.
What the fuck? Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Something about the weird shape of his back. He's got a short torso. I don't know.
Sure so.
Yeah, short torso.
Yeah, no, leave me alone, man.
Nah, I want you to... if I have to suffer, you have to suffer.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But
So-
I also do think, too, like what we were talking about with me, kind of... Our dynamic is very different, and it's definitely exaggerated versions of ourselves. Mm-hmm. Which is normally usually if we're around other people.
Yeah.
Because we sit and play video games, or we can casually drive around and not even talk. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't feel like we're on. Which is odd to me because I don't feel like we're putting something on when we're around other people.
No, I don't feel that either. That's why I was wondering, like, is it just for the cheap laugh?
It's gotta be like just to try to keep the room up.
Like for me, like we just said, I don't like silence.
Yeah.
So if there's a lull,
Yeah.
I know I can go to
Right.
making fun of your haircut or something.
Right. Well, it's just simple as just be like, fuck this guy, right?
Yeah.
If there is a low, and people
But
are
I
like,
won't do it.
yeah, listen to him.
I mean, I'll do it to the homie. I make fun of Schmed every time we get on the fucking mic with him.
Well, yeah, well,
That's
right.
so much fun.
But if he came out, I would not make fun of him because I love Schmed for real.
would.
But he's so fun to razz a little bit.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
I'll be like, oh, come on.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
He's so cute.
he is very cute. He's adorable, man.
And he's one of the ones that can't believe half the shit that flies out of our mouths. Which blows my mind. Because he's known us for 20 years.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good point because that's even a different dynamic as far as when we're both talking to Shred, the shock value becomes more interesting.
Like, you can feel him blushing through the headset.
Because if we can be so mean to each other and he's going to be like, geez, guys. And that feels like we did something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
And that's got to be, I feel like that is it. And we've just been addicted to it for so long that we can't stop.
We're also both raised on comedians, though.
That's true. And specific kind of comedians.
Way more than, I don't know everybody's history.
Yeah.
But me and you particularly were raised heavy on stand-up comedy.
That's true. Yeah.
Like my dad, huge fan of stand-up. He got me into it way back then. My mom saw George Carlin at the Paramount a couple times.
The first two stand-ups I was, both on the same day, George Carlin and Eddie Murphy.
Nice.
On the same day, my dad had them on cassette, and we would just sit there and listen.
Yeah, my dad had records.
When I was way too young, but like that started the love affair, and it just even today, like if you listen to the last episode too, I talked with Amy, who's stand-up. I fucking love stand-up so much.
Yeah. So I think that has a lot to do with it too. Like
stand-ups are broken people,
exactly.
stereotypically.
Yeah.
Stereotypically,
For the most part,
yeah.
But it's just we've got a thicker skin.
Yeah.
Not just because we're fat. Like we've got a thicker skin because of our backgrounds, because of what we were like comedy. We were raised on it.
Yeah.
Because we had to take care of ourselves and all that shit. Like, I think people when they see us being mean to each other, like Schmet, and he's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I think to them it's a lot worse than it really is. Because I would never say anything mean to you that's going to actually hurt you.
No, and that's the thing too.
Or anyone.
We know.
Maybe I have. I don't want to say never.
Yeah.
But I've never intended to hurt anyone with my words.
Ever. Yeah.
Like,
and I think that intent is important. And I think that's true too. Is like one. I don't think we never go after low hanging fruit unless that's the joke.
Squish my can. Sorry.
There you go. But also like we know each other well enough. Like I know it isn't funny and it's just hurtful.
Yeah.
And that's not fun.
Yeah. There's people out there that don't know the line.
Right.
And I think that's where we differentiate. I think mostly we do it just for comedy.
Yeah, and I think all of this is also, I hope how this is how it's coming off.
Yeah.
And that we're not just actually, we just are shitty people.
No, we're not, dude. Like, I know us.
Yeah?
I've met us.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're two very kind gentlemen.
Yeah.
And I've never seen you be mean to anybody. I, in fact, call you a pussy often. Because you're too fucking nice.
Yeah.
Like, you're standoffish and you're quiet, but
Right.
your heart is probably oversized because of your size.
It doesn't beat as many times as it should.
Yeah. You're like a big dog. You're one of those heartbreak breeds.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. You made me think about it earlier. Like this morning when you texted me, like, do you want to do this episode about this and that?
Also, that's the amount of leeway I gave Jason. This morning I was like, hey, let's do another episode with you. I'll see you at 7.
Yeah. Yeah. No prep. Nothing.
It's also like, let's talk about your
Let's
dead
talk
mom.
about your dead mom. What do you say? Hey, good morning, Jay. Want to talk about your mom dying today? Yeah, bud. Sounds great. I'll be there.
Not for nothing, here we are.
Yeah. But I think we go for the bit.
Yeah.
I wish we were comedians. That would make a lot more sense to people.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, you think you could be a comedian?
No.
I don't think I could.
I'm with you, and I think we could write for shows.
I love writing bits and the idea of putting things together, but I have no interest in performing it.
I would just feel like a fraud. Because
Well,
I love the collaboration of building a joke with somebody.
Right, yeah.
And to get up and say it as my own, I would feel stupid. Because a lot of them, a lot of the shit that I say that is funny, it's been brought up through 3 or 4 different people making this thing funny.
Right, yeah, that's true. Like and most comedians have a team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also the fact that like you become like a comedian's like being an actor. Like you're becoming, this is your stage persona. This is who you are on stage. I don't have that in me.
Yeah, I would be awkward as fuck.
Right. Like,
Not like the funny awkward. I would just be
Yeah.
annoyingly awkward.
Yeah.
Like you could tell this guy doesn't want to be up there.
Right, and I feel like that fucks up your time and your cadence and everything like that too. And I'd be like, I also like you have to be disciplined, like practicing into a mirror and having everything down time wise. Like that just sounds counterintuitive to what I want to do. Yeah, it's daunting.
Sounds like a nightmare. Like honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
But I love like you said, like riffing bits or like running shit by each other, like. And if it takes, like I said, the cheap joke to at least make you laugh,
right?
I'll go for it.
Yeah,
I love making you laugh. It's my favorite.
I love laughing, like, dude.
Especially because you're very. You're very, I don't want to say woke, but you're very PC.
I am very PC.
And
but
like, you're very like in tune with like things I should be, but I refuse to be.
I'm uncomfortably liberal, and I don't mean that in a political way. Like I mean that in just I'm very progressive.
So I make inappropriate jokes to you all the time, and you know it's with good intention. It's not nothing malicious in anything. But when I can make you go, holy shit, it's like I get a boner pretty much.
I like the idea that I can still get you a boner after all these years.
Yeah. Well,
but I do think that stand-up should be free from that sort of scrutiny.
Yeah.
Because
intent.
100% intent. No, even the old school insult comics, even though it's still an insulting thing, the intention is never to actually hurt somebody and send them home feeling sad. It's to point out ridiculousness and be like, look at you, come on.
Yeah. Again, maybe this comes from my mom.
Yeah.
My mom was very self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Like, never meant anything, but she was always like, I can't wait to fucking die. Or, I feel like I was shot at and missed and shit on and hit. Like, she would have all these stupid fucking sayings.
Yeah.
Where she was just like, basically shitting on herself.
Right.
And I think a lot of that stuck with me.
Yeah.
And my dad too. Like my dad was always, like I said, he's the one who got me into stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But he was always taking the piss out of me and like, just doing what he could to take a little jab at me.
Yeah.
But I knew he was just kidding.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that can be a hard, and I think that's where we kind of get lost in today's culture is for starters, kids can't differentiate all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the relationship you have and what's happening at that time. Mm-hmm. Because again, it's not like it's low hanging fruit and not funny to just be like, you're fat.
Yeah.
But then when we can turn around and be like, like we just said, like I'm a dog, and so my heart doesn't beat as much as it should. But you're playing around. It's the same idea, but you're playing around with it to where it's clearly an exaggeration and it's absurd.
But your blood is slow.
Right. It's like KFC gravy. Which means it's delicious.
Yeah. I was thinking ketchup.
Oh, that would make more sense. No, I like KFC gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. What? But yeah, no. Why do you think it's so much harder for the kids today to grow a thicker skin?
So I don't think it is harder for the kids to grow a thicker skin. I think that you're looking at, we're raised by boomers, and the boomers are awful. But that we're living in a world they created, and they do nothing but complain about the world. Mm-hmm. But they created it, and they blame it on millennials because we're changing it now.
Right.
Because it needs to be changed. And we're also the first generation that was like, hey, we're the first stop, I need to think about my mental health generation. And that's still new. And that's, I think, why that's every generation, the two generations after is it one generation after? I don't know.
I have no idea.
But they're looking at the same stuff even more in depth because the Gen Z was raised by us now.
Right.
And so we're the first ones who look at that, and also some Gen X for sure. But we're looking at our own mental health, and now they're looking at even more where they want to feel safe. And I think that that's valid. But if nobody's coming after you, there's nothing to feel safe from. And that's where it gets into a gray area with comedy, particularly.
Right.
Is nobody's coming after you. Because this is a safe area where the whole point of it is to say ridiculous stuff. Now, there's definitely lines here of this is, like we've even said, like there's stuff that we don't say because it's not funny.
Yeah.
It's hateful or hurtful. That exists in comedy as well.
Yeah.
And that might be a case-by-case basis where we have to police that.
It's got to be harder in comedy because you can't read the room.
Well,
you can't
right.
read 300 people in a room.
You also can't take a joke that's performed in front of an audience on stage at a show and read it.
Right.
And get what's happening.
Yeah, they can't print it in a magazine.
Right, because if you just see the word, like Bill Burr has an amazing bit about
Does
that.
he?
Yeah, when he's talking about going out or talking to a girl, and she's like, "No, stop it, you're so bad."
Oh,
and then it'd be in a corner where it's like, "No, stop, you're bad." That's a whole different feel than what just happened. And I feel like that's something that can really affect. And I feel like the media kind of grasps onto that on purpose to make something look worse than it is. Mm-hmm. But I definitely think that should be a conversation about, and this is really the only place I see it being a problem is just in stand-up comedy. Like, to me, it's the only place where it should be free of all of that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I wish they would bring it back to movies, too.
But I think they're still making movies across the board. Big studios might be like, we are trying to send a specific image because that's what's in right now.
I hate that.
But I feel like studios that are doing that, there's a loud voice that's saying, please stop doing that. Like, it's easy to point at Disney because they're the biggest. Mm-hmm. And there's a whole movement of people that are pissed off about woke Disney.
I might be one of those people.
Maybe, but here's the thing. Disney's about making money.
I agree.
You know what makes money right now?
Woke.
Right. Do you think Disney gives a shit about inclusivity?
No.
Right, but is it making money right now?
Yeah.
Right. It's a business.
Yeah.
So you can say whatever you want on the internet, It's meaningless to them.
Do you think that's also might be where some of our self-deprecation comes from the old movies?
I think it's definitely that, to me, yes, because it's that Gen X beaten down attitude.
Yeah.
And those are the movies we grew up with.
Yeah.
Is the Gen X era, especially like the late 80s and 90s. Oh, the best
That's
movies.
all I've been watching lately.
They're so fucking good.
I think I'm getting darker. As everyone else is getting more woke, I think I'm retreating further into let's make old racist jokes in movies.
But even that is like, I think that I'm big into things mirroring society, but it can be a double-edged sword. Because, we have a pretty diverse group of friends, and you talk a certain way. Mm-hmm. You can't say what you say with your friends on something that's going to go to the masses.
Right.
Because it's going to be a problem. I just saw, I watched this video, a thing came up on Instagram. This guy was dressed in an exaggerated Hispanic mustache, a sombrero, and a poncho.
Was it my high school pictures?
But he went around his college campus.
Yeah.
And was like, is this offensive? And all of the kids that go there are like, yeah. Talk to a white girl, black guy, like white guy, like a bunch of different people are all like, yeah, this is a problem. They would ask him like, are you Hispanic? Mm-hmm. And he's like, no. He's like, yeah, this is problematic. No. You can't be wearing this stuff.
It's not problematic.
But then he went to a Hispanic neighborhood. Yeah. And talked to 20 Hispanic people.
There's no woke in Mexico.
Who was like, is this offensive? He's like, no.
Yeah. They love it.
They're like, yeah, they literally like, you look awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Like growing up, I grew up with a lot of Mexicans.
Yeah.
Like every party and shit, like they were like, put on this. Like, like they would make me part of their culture.
Yeah. Now, is there some people that can take advantage of that and are clearly exploiting something? Sure.
Yeah.
But you can grow up in the culture also. Intention.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where we're at now, and I think that's why 99% of our problems come from, is that it doesn't take into intention into effect. It doesn't look it doesn't listen, and nobody gets a second to explain the situation.
That's the problem.
Because an accusation ruins careers now.
Yeah.
You don't get to actually talk about it.
And like, I don't know if it's just the way the world is now, but it seems like people are having a harder time even just reading intent on people. Like, everyone takes everything so fucking literal.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a learned behavior because I think everybody wants to be offended.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. But we've been taught that, and we can unlearn that. And eventually we will. Like, it'll evolve.
Like, I've never wanted to be offended. Like, I want to laugh with you and take, take shots at each other. Like, this will be fun. Like, that's,
But not for nothing, like, and again, I am a very PC and woke person, I consider myself. Yeah. To a level that to me makes sense. But when you turn around then and say something that normal people would laugh at, or even somebody that's offended would normally laugh at, but if they're like, ooh, I'll bet I can get views or a rise or agreements out of this. And be like, you know what you just said offended me? Yeah. And that's not okay. And now the internet comes to that person's defense. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. You've laughed about it 100 times.
My favorite thing about the internet is it's really like 500 people.
Right. It's definitely a
It's like 500 people on Twitter that are offended, and the rest of the world could give a shit.
Yeah. But they're loud enough to where we think that it matters. Yeah. Yeah. That's what pisses, like, not for nothing, as dumb as it sounds, the new Star Wars show, The Acolyte, that was on Disney, the internet lost their fucking mind about, at least enough of a minority that complained about it so much because it didn't fit into their narrative, what they want Star Wars to be. I don't know if you know this, but it's a made-up thing about space. And it could be whatever the fuck a writer writes about. Literally.
You're out of your fucking mind.
But for some reason, they think there's some sort of agenda. Even if there is, who the fuck cares?
Space racism.
Yeah.
Spacism.
Spracism? But the point is, like, they canceled this potential season 2 because some of the internet's mad. Mad. Yeah. That's so stupid. Like,
that is stupid. But what do we do then? What's the fix? Like, how do you express intent without being like stopping the show and be like, look, folks,
Yeah.
we didn't mean this to come off the way you probably think it did.
Well, I think we unfortunately have to the idea of intention has to be let go when it comes to movies and TV shows because they're from a company that's just looking to make money. Their intention is
I also
money.
feel like the people that, like, at least in recent, like, last year or two, that have gone against giving a shit what you think,
Yeah.
I think they find their audience.
Yeah, and I think anything will find its audience given enough time.
Like Deadpool, highest grossing fucking whatever.
Rated R film, right?
Yeah, and they didn't hold back at all.
Right.
Great.
Not only did they not hold back, but they were, to an extent, like, because they know there were going to be a ton of shots against Disney. And some of those are like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe they let them do that. But again, it's about making money.
One small thing. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But remember when he's using Wolverine's bones to fight? And then he grabs his femur and he jerks it like a dick.
Yeah.
Sorry. I never thought I'd see that in a Disney movie.
Right. But I feel like in general, them having R-rated films on Disney Plus at all, there's a minority that complains about that because they're even on there.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that's a little weird because it is a children's platform.
Well, you can set it to child.
Right. That's where.
And to me, they've done that's all they need to do.
Right.
That's
I'll
up
agree
to
with that.
you now as an adult.
But it was a little shocking when I saw, like, oh shit, they're throwing this on there.
Well, because I thought
Like,
since they own Hulu, also they would just kind of we'll put all that on Hulu and we'll keep Disney.
That's what I
clean.
figured too.
But then part of me is like admires it. And I'm like, yeah, screw everybody else.
That is weird though to see like Pinocchio next to Predator.
Yeah,
It's like what?
yeah. But it's nice for me because I want all that in one spot. You know, you can turn it on for your kids. Like there's a kids mode. Like Netflix has it, Hulu has everything has it.
Right.
If you're not going to regulate what your kids are watching, you don't get to blame the studio.
The good old days.
Right. Man,
I was raised on like Predator. And
bruh.
I just watched Kickboxer the other day. Horrible fucking movie.
Well, let me stop you right there. Hold on.
It's so bad.
No. Come on.
Come on.
I
watched Bloodsport, Kickboxer.
Okay.
Fucking over the top.
This conversation just took a turn.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
No.
We were raised on.
Kickboxer is amazing.
Is it though?
Tongpo?
Tonpo.
Come on.
Tonpo.
They put their hands in glass.
Yeah, they dip them in. They put the tape on backwards so the sticky side's out.
That's right. Remember too when what's his ass hands him the raw meat? He's like, here, make you run faster. He's like, how is this gonna make me run faster? And then the dog's chasing him.
Is that the one, or was it Bloodsport, where they're showing everyone's fighting styles in the beginning?
That's Bloodsport.
That's Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Remember the monkey guy up in the tree?
Yeah. But he's chopping full coconuts.
Coconuts.
Like that's the thing.
No, it's not.
What?
It's not a thing.
Come on.
There's no ninja training where you're up in a tree chopping coconuts
First
with your
off,
bare hands.
it's not ninja
acting like
training.
a goddamn monkey.
Are you shitting me? Next thing you're telling me there's not dance fighting. Capoeira's a real thing.
What is that?
It's from Brazil.
Do you remember that movie? Fuck. I don't want to get into this while we're having a conversation. But there's like an 80s movie about capoeira.
Yeah.
Where they fight
Only
on-
the Strong.
Is that it?
Yeah. Mark Dacascos.
Yes.
It's so good.
What a horrible movie.
What?
Sorry.
So here's the thing. The premise of Only the Strong is literally
I said I didn't want to go into
the
it.
same as Dangerous Minds, where it's a bunch of inner city youths.
Yep, and they teach them how to.
And Mark
to fight
Dacascos
to
comes in
get
and is like, if we
online.
dance fight, we'll probably get along. And you know what? He was right.
He was right.
The little move they do is called a Jenga.
That sounds.
Me and my
racist.
brother used to order martial arts tapes and then try to become fighters.
Oh man, my mom married a guy who was a martial artist, and I think that turned me off completely to martial arts.
Yeah.
I hated him.
Yeah, I mean, that'll do it.
I fucking hated him.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to our trauma.
Yeah. That was a hell of a tangent.
That was a wild one.
Yeah. It felt good, though. The point is, Kickboxer is amazing.
Okay, I'll say I watched it. So there was a reason I watched it.
Yeah.
It just maybe it just wasn't what I remembered.
Yeah.
Bloodsport, I liked.
Bloodsport's really good.
But Kickboxer, I was like,
Yeah, at least Bloodsport is half-assed on a true story that we now know is 100% fabricated
right.
by Frank Dukes.
Frank Dukes.
Like, put up your Dukes, right?
Yes. Fuck yeah, I just been watching a bunch of 80s, 90s. I think that's where my newfound or rediscovered passion for just letting movies do what the fuck they want is coming from.
Yeah.
Like, the 80s were wild as far as the jokes you could make.
Oh, yeah.
The content, that they had in them.
Watch Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That's 70s, isn't it?
I think might be the late 70s, but it's so funny. It 100% holds up today.
Yeah.
As
Watch
being
any Mel
hilarious.
Brooks movie.
Yeah. But it's ridiculous. But even that, I'm curious to see. So him and Mel Brooks and Josh Gad are working on a second Spaceballs film. And I'm very curious. All right, what does that look like today?
Well, did you watch History of the World Part 2?
Just the first episode.
Great.
Yeah, it was so funny.
All of it was.
I believe that. Because I do think that you can watch a movie like Blazing Saddles and be like, I can see what's problematic potentially, but I also feel like there's more that still hits than you realize. And I think you can see how today be like, okay, how it might be worded different, how it might be received differently. But I don't think that anything is off limits. It depends, like most comedians say, it depends on what the joke is and the target. And a lot of times, people that are offended aren't the target in the first place.
Yeah.
But they're not understanding the joke.
Yeah.
They just want to be offended.
It's so weird. Or they want to be a white knight for their buddies.
Right. And that's
like, oh, I have a gay friend, you can't make that joke. Like,
Right.
most of my gay friends would laugh at that fucking joke. Like,
Right.
Nate laughed at every gay joke I've ever made, pretty much.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
he made gayer jokes.
Right. Yeah.
More offensive gay jokes.
And that's kind of the thing too, is like
because he understands my intentions.
Right.
Like, I love you.
Right.
And I'm doing this because I love you.
And I
Just
also,
like if you want to take a fat stab at me or whatever, like
Yeah.
call me fucking whatever.
he always would call me handsome. That boy trying to kiss me so many times.
I never got that.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Nate loved my mama too. He was really good friends
Yeah.
with my mom.
Nate and I had a high kicking contest in Kate Vamrick's kitchen once.
Ooh. Didn't he do it in his underwear?
He did. He did, because I was like, this is how I can kick in my pants. And he was like, take my pants off. I'm like, all right, bud.
Yeah.
If you're going to cheat.
I don't know if it's cheating or just being more prepared.
Yeah, well, he won, so it doesn't matter. W is a W. But I agree that the point is we're laughing together, and to me, that's the key. And you can sit there and say, well, right, because you're friends, you can't generalize a whole group. And I get that 100%, but
But there's also a difference between being mean and joking.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
even without intent, like you don't need to know someone's intent, but you can read like in the tone of their voice if you're
Yeah.
just being a dick,
Right.
or if
Yeah.
that's pretty funny. You know what I mean?
Some
Like,
people have made a career of being a dick.
yeah,
Yeah. But it's the same thing, like, we could be in a group with other fat people and talk like we do, and they'll get offended.
that's weird.
It's the same principle. But I'd be like, because it's not a hot button at the moment, it's easy to just be like, shut up.
right.
And then they'd be like,
I'm gonna go eat my feelings.
been there, bud. But nobody cares is the point. Like, so it's interesting how it kind of compartmentalizes itself into what's important at the moment and what
Yeah.
not.
And like I said, it's amplified by a few thousand people on the internet. That's it,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
it is crazy.
But coming back, I think a lot of the 80s and 90s movies and comedy is why we are the way we are.
Yeah.
At least with each other.
I think that's
Like
true, too.
we do reserve ourselves around some people in our
Yeah.
group.
Well, we know what we can get away with around who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds weird to think that I like to think of everyone in our group as equals.
Yeah, well, I can remember a
there-
particular conversation that actually changed my whole, like, demeanor.
Yeah.
It was actually probably when I was like, well, I'm not drinking anymore then.
Oh. Tell me, because this has ruined my life since you stopped drinking.
Like we hit it hard. Cause I didn't drink till I was 26, and then by like 28, I was like done for the most part. Like other than a couple of one-offs here and there. And it was a conversation that we had with Dana.
She made you quit drinking? She made me drink way more.
Well, yeah. For the most part, she made us drink way more.
You bitch!
But there was a particular. I don't even think she had any intention or ill will or anything. But she had made a comment about how we were too much when we were together and drunk, and that was already after like certain people didn't want us at their house because we couldn't be together if we were drinking. Also, we didn't do anything to.
Why didn't nobody say shit to me?
Yeah,
whose house we're not allowed to?
I have no idea, but I remember those. And don't get me wrong, I could be misremembering them also, but those are the things that really stuck to me. Where I was like,
I think you just took it wrong.
It's possible
because I've never.
Because I always thought we were all on the
anyway.
same page of having the best time.
Yeah.
So to hear at least
maybe it was just you. Maybe you're just a dick.
That's why they like tell me. Yeah, that could be. But when I hear those things, and I'm like, oh, I'm not as fun as I think I am. People are annoyed with me. I don't want to. It became not fun. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore then. Because our whole thing has always been to have a good time. Like even if we were ever feeling bad or sad or anything, we were like,
yeah, we'd disappear.
Not drinking. Yeah. Because we don't want to amplify what's the problem.
Yeah.
Only good time.
Oh yeah. But also at a party, if we decided like we were being annoying or whatever, me and you would just fuck off together.
That's true. Yeah. Like, I think that's one of the reasons we
don't like to burden anybody.
No,
in any sense, not even ever. Sober.
Yeah.
We don't like to burden people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why what you just said is weird to me. I feel like we've known every time we were being too much because we could feel it. We could read the room.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know I've broken furniture.
I never did any of that. That was you and Nick. You and Nick are too much together. Maybe that was it.
Yeah, realistically, but the three of us was only happened like a handful of times. But
the three of us. There's never been the three of us.
Yeah.
There's been you and Nick and me going, guys,
come on,
knock it off.
Knock it off. Yeah. Nah.
I'm a very sit in one spot and chill drunk.
Boring is the word you're looking for.
I'm not boring.
Yes, you are.
I just like to get my drinks.
Yeah.
Get my spot.
Yeah.
And then I sit there for the rest of the night.
Right. But what's my philosophy? Let's make a scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You and Nick.
I don't think
barking at people at the bar.
that happened.
Making out with wedding parties.
Well, so here's the thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to paint myself into like a shitty portrait. Mm-hmm. But let's do it, I guess.
Yeah, you and Nick. Mm-hmm. Both of you are definitely calmed down, but you had a wild streak.
Yeah, it was so fun.
So fun.
So much fun. Yeah.
But I would get roped into your guys' bullshit. And I wasn't doing nothing. I literally go to a bar.
Yeah.
I pick a bar stool.
Right.
And that's where I'm at for the night.
And I'm usually floating around.
Yeah.
First off, whenever we would go out, we would drink in the car.
Okay.
Not driving.
Yeah.
We would park.
Okay.
But we always usually
make that very clear.
Yeah, we usually. Well, I don't think I've still ever paid for a drink at a bar.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I've paid for thousands.
He's paid for all of them. Well, Nick used to pay.
Do you ever think about how much you've spent on something? I think about how much I've spent at bars, and it just makes me.
It should make you.
Because most of it's not for me.
That's true.
I'm the guy who's like, let's do 12 shots of fucking tequila for everybody.
Yeah, when I think of all the Vegas bombs we've done in all the various places.
Or when the tab comes, I'm like, yeah, just throw it all in mine. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn it. And then in the morning, I'm like, $250, Jay? For what? For you to be slow today with a headache?
Yeah. But at the time, though, like, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. And I know that people appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, what's the word I'm looking for? Are hesitant to come out because it's a no return investment.
Well, it depends on what you consider the return. Like,
to me, it's a return. because I get to
it's
hang
very
out with
fleeting,
my friends.
but it's fleeting. It's only what it is
Yeah.
for these couple of hours.
It's a rare chance I get to hang out for a couple hours with my favorite people. So
Yeah.
to me, it's an investment
Right.
in time,
Yeah.
which I love.
At the end,
but
it's
for a lot of
all
people,
that
it's
matters.
I'm fucking up my whole fucking Sunday
Yeah.
because I spent hours drinking with this retard.
We don't say that.
I do.
No, well, I wish you wouldn't.
So to me, like they're like it's a non-return for a lot of people, and I get that. So paying for it is I've always been like, okay, fuck it,
Yeah.
it's worth it to me. And if it means if it comes down to you not coming out or coming out if I pay, I'm gonna pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll pay for the good time.
Yeah.
So that's where I differentiate from a lot of people don't do that.
Right. Well, and a lot of people probably
Can't do that.
either.
I
We're
get
at that point where
especially the
like,
ones that have like
multiple kids,
a real grown up life.
mortgages.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
I can't believe I want that.
I can't believe anybody would.
But I took us off another goddamn sidetrack. What was
Yeah.
before that?
Well, we were just kind of talking about some of our exploits
Oh yeah.
and how
So
you
you and
think
Nick.
you're innocent. Although,
I'm not saying.
now that I'm
innocent.
kind of thinking about it, you are all just kind of usually vibing, and I'm usually like, but what if we did this?
There's been plenty of times where I've been like, no. Tim. Most of the time, I'm like, no, and you're like, come on. And that goes on for about 3 or 4 drinks, and then I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, I like that you have your limit. Where you're
Okay,
finally
it has to
getting-
actually be 8 drinks because I'm buying 2 drinks per round.
Yeah, they're all doubled. Yeah.
So after I pay for 8 more drinks, I'm like, all right, let's go because I gotta work off whatever I'm going through.
Do you remember when we were in Nebraska and I climbed that
No,
giant
I don't
thing?
remember Nebraska. Oh, the Mana de Chango.
Yeah.
It's a big backhoe.
Yeah, big backhoe.
It means
But I
monkey,
remember...
that means monkey arm in Spanish.
Really?
That's what they used to call it when I worked for Evans.
That's funny. I remember we were drunk just walking downtown Omaha, and there's this giant construction
Yeah,
machine.
big old backhoe.
And I was like, I'm going to climb that and pee off it.
Yes.
And then I did.
Omaha style.
Don't say that.
311 was just on someone's or Matt and Shane's podcast today.
Really?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Turned it off 20 minutes in.
I'll bet.
Fuck 311.
Okay.
Real loud into the mic.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
You guys made a joke about me turning off your Gina episode.
Did it? Oh, yeah.
When you brought up
Yeah.
some 311 lyrics.
Did we mention you?
You said something about From Chaos.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, Jason's turning it off right now. Or you said our friends are turning it off, and that was me.
I said half our friends just got boners.
That was me.
You didn't get a boner.
No, I didn't get a boner.
Half of our friends just turned the channel. And I said half, but I meant just you.
I'm one of your 3 listeners.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
But yeah, Nebraska, goddamn.
So there's throughout the
threw
2
up in a
seasons of the
lady's
show, there's been
wheels.
allusions to Nebraska, and kind of like it's
Isabel
little
liked one of
things.
my pictures tonight. That's
Really?
fun. Yeah, I'm picturing my puppy dog.
Oh, that's awesome.
Haven't seen her since Jay's wedding.
Yeah.
But she's the reason we went to Nebraska. That's
right.
what I'm getting at.
We left. I think we
I went
literally
there
left
twice.
on did we take Friday off?
No, we worked.
That's right.
And
They wouldn't let
drove.
us have Friday off.
Yeah.
So we literally just went on a Friday on a whim.
Yep. We
We're
worked
like,
all day.
"Let's go to Nebraska.
Got in the car and drove 14 hours, 13 hours.
No, it's
12.
like 7 or 8
No.
or 6.
To Omaha, I think it was
Yeah.
like. You might be right.
Yeah.
Might be 8 or 9.
I don't think that's true. Either way, it doesn't matter.
I mean, Green Bay is 4.
yeah.
That's way closer than
So
Nebraska.
if I take a straight line to Green Bay and,
and
lay it
then left.
down,
Yeah.
I think we're only in Iowa.
This is literally. I could Google it
Well-
while you talk.
Yeah, yeah. Well, now I feel like I'm on the spot, and I'm gonna fill this void. Did we take your car or my car?
Mine.
Is that? I don't think that's true either.
Yeah.
Did we?
What was I driving
I don't know.
at the time?
What were you driving at the time?
I don't know. What were you driving at?
I think it was the same car I still have.
7 hours.
I'm pretty sure we took the fix. 'Cause I remember it was so buggy when we got back.
I don't fucking
And
know.
also, I'm weird. I wouldn't let you drive my car.
I know I drove out there once in
Yeah.
Erica DeCarmo's car.
Right.
Because she's like wanted me to paint her bumper or something.
Yeah.
So she lent it to me for the weekend. And I was like, I'm going to go to Nebraska. And she's like, okay. And I just took her car.
Yeah. But the point is, we went to see Isabel.
Yeah. Actually, I went out there 3 times because I stopped there on my way when I moved to San Diego, too.
Yeah.
So I visited Omaha 3 times.
It's actually a really nice town.
Beautiful town.
Yeah.
Tons
I
of
was
fun.
surprised.
Like, I don't know if the regular town is fun, but we were plugged in directly to the gay part of town.
Is that true?
Yeah, all Isabel's friends are all. She's like
That's
best
why
friends
it
with
was
all the gay
so
people.
much fun.
Yeah, we went.
That's the best
We went to
part of
that big ass
Chicago.
gay club. Remember?
No.
And we literally hung out with like 12 gay guys. That was our thing.
Yeah. I had no idea. That's awesome.
Yeah, no.
That's why it was so
her
nice.
her 3 roommates were gay.
Yeah. She had 3 roommates?
Yeah,
Where were they?
that might. She definitely lived with Christopher and Aaron
She
when we
lived-
were there.
No way.
Oh, no, that was her own place.
Yeah, she lived alone. When
She
we
lived
were
with
there.
Christopher the first and third time I was there. Then
Okay. Yeah.
I think I don't fucking know. Either way, we only went to the gay clubs and stuff, except for when we went to that wedding.
When we crashed that, we
Yeah.
just kind of
That's true.
barged in.
We weren't supposed to be at that wedding.
But the bartender was like, told us to leave, but kept serving his drinks.
He didn't tell us to leave.
Yeah.
We got up the secret stairs. He's like, "Hey, just so you know, this is a private wedding."
Cool.
And he's like, "You want something to drink?" So we had a couple, then went down to the sushi restaurant.
Well, that's what because the lady there was trying to get me to go dance with her.
Yeah.
Because I'm the social fun one.
Yes.
While you're over there vibing. I just want to be alone. But I want to be around people.
Look, I'm a bop, dude. I don't. Yeah, 3. I went 3. You only went 1 time.
Yeah.
You almost died.
Well, I lost my camera.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my iPod.
Yep.
I lost my hat.
Your camera and your iPod are probably in your hat.
They were actually, yeah. But I must have left them in that cab. I fell out of that cab into the parking lot, and then I stayed in the parking lot for like 6 hours.
Who called the cab?
I have no idea.
It wasn't me. It wasn't you. It was not Isabel.
So my favorite part. This is our last night there because we stayed Friday and Saturday, and we were pretty much awake the whole time. I feel like in the first 6 hours we went through like 3/5 of Svedka.
Oh yeah.
We took one to the zoo. We snuck into the zoo.
Got into the zoo for free because some lady threw up in the trash can.
Yeah, they were all busy dealing with that, so we just walked in. Also, the
Beautiful zoo.
The Omaha Zoo is awesome.
Except for the spiders.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
you remember the spiders?
Yeah, they're in the open when you
Yeah,
can
there's
walk
an
through.
open air exhibit with spiders.
You expect it to be like butterflies or something?
No. Orb weaver, fucking giant 10-inch spiders.
Yeah.
My nightmare. My literal nightmare. I'm scared of 2 things.
Yeah.
Scared of deep dark ocean,
Right.
spiders.
And dying alone.
And these assholes got me drunk. And we're like, let's walk through this open air area where these spiders are allowed to just crawl on you.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
But there's a ski lift that goes over the exhibits.
Yeah, that was awesome. There's one like that in San Diego too.
Right, but like not for nothing, but San Diego Zoo is like really well known,
Yeah.
and you expect it.
Henry Dorley's.
But to be at the
If you're in
Omaha,
Omaha.
I was really surprised. Like this is an awesome zoo, and I don't really like zoos in general.
There's a 3-legged tiger.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
I have a picture of it on my phone. That's how I know.
Well,
We were
that's
drunk.
Awesome. That's true.
I don't
Yeah.
remember taking the picture.
Well, that's the thing is, but we stayed drunk until we drove home Sunday,
Yeah.
and that was a trip and a half because
I woke up outside. You woke up outside.
It was in the parking lot throwing up
Ugh.
so much.
I woke up on the porch facing the wall.
Yeah, I remember that was so funny because it took hours for me to crawl to the door and then crawl to her door, to Isabel's door. People kept trying to park on me, and I would have to throw myself up. When I think about it now, I'm like, I've been around some drunk assholes, and I've never had to deal with somebody that was anywhere near the asshole I've been.
That was bad. We ended our night at a bar called Eat the Worm.
We ended our bar with Strong Islands. That's
At a bar called Eat the Worm.
yes. Yeah.
It was like a 46-ounce Long Island.
Jesus Christ.
I threw up in the ladies' Escalade wheels.
That's right. Well, I remember when we were leaving that bar, I had a full cup, and we were leaving, and then the guy at the door was like, "You can't take the glass outside," and I was like, "I bet I can," and he's like, "I'm not gonna let you." So I shot the whole fucking cup.
God.
I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
But what's interesting, or at least I find hilarious about that, is after the zoo, we went home and got changed, ate some food, and went out for the night. And we immediately got separated from Isabel.
Instantly. As soon as we got out of the cab.
Yeah. What I love, though, is that she was as drunk an asshole as we were.
When we finally... How the fuck did we find her?
Dude, it just, like, it just happened. Well, yeah. But it was at that lady's hubcaps where you were throwing up. And I could hear her coming around, and she's like, "I know he's not throwing up in my hubcaps." But here's the thing. You were.
I was. And I was so sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not trying to.
Dude, when she got close enough to see what we were dealing with, because I was standing, but I was like,
Oh, God.
I was a little tornado, like, floating around, spinning. There was a party on the roof at the building we were in front of, and they were making fun of us.
Oh, man. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
We had a great time. But that's when Isabel's... You know what? We were by the car. That's how we met.
What car?
She drove there.
No.
Yeah. And then we were put in a cab for safety by somebody else.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you, she was like, "We'll be fine."
Yeah.
And somebody else was like, "No, we got you a cab."
Well, God bless that person.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense now. We're in the nicest part of town, and everybody was so cool.
Yeah. Beautiful town.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful town.
I would never have guessed. If you told me Omaha is so nice, I'd be like, "Shut up."
Now, if you go, like, towards Lincoln and all that, like, a little more, like, I think it's south of Omaha.
Yeah.
It's not as fun. It's college town, and it's still
Sure.
fun, but it's not like that.
Yeah. I've been farther out west. Like when I went out to
you got
Colorado, my
stranded.
car broke down and I was stranded for a week. Like
Real Nebraska.
real, yeah. Like and everybody is very nice and it is cool, but there's nothing to do there because you're just off the highway.
Yeah.
So that sucks. But man, that was a fun time. But that was also one of the only times like. I think I alluded to. I think during Gina's episode too, I said that Drew and I got kicked out of the Foundry.
Oh, yeah.
That was another. I
That
was
was a
really
great
drunk
time.
then.
Whose birthday was that? Was that Lindsay's birthday?
Probably. I think it was
Lindsay's
Lindsay's.
birthday.
Yeah, and fucking Drew just climbs the beams to the ceiling.
Yeah.
He sits up there.
You're over there boxing out a fucking bouncer. Like you're some fucking...
So stupid.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
I got this.
What are they gonna do? You're gonna climb up and get him? Like,
Yeah.
just leave it. We'll figure it out.
God. Oh, man. Yeah, I wish you would drink with me still.
I wish you would stop.
Why?
I just don't see the appeal anymore. All the stuff that we did, you gotta remember that I never had a hangover except for that one time when I broke the couch.
I think what the thing is with me is like you mentioned earlier, I don't drink when there's bad things happening in my life.
Right, that's true. It's always
So
for a
to
good
me,
time.
it's a celebration.
Yeah.
Like it's like tonight. Like I've had a long week. I get to go hang out with my buddy. I want to have a couple beers.
Right.
Like even though you're not drinking, I know that this is gonna make me smile.
Yeah, and I never drink
Yeah,
beer. Ever.
and I know that these two is all I need, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go home and be like, oh, I need to get fucked up.
Right.
Like
yeah.
I'm good. Like I have a great fucking time on 2 beers.
Yeah.
So like when you tease me all the time, you call me an alcoholic and a drug addict because I eat mushrooms.
I mean, I love mushrooms also.
I fucking love mushrooms.
Yeah.
But
He does too many mushrooms.
there's no such thing as too many mushrooms.
He's probably right.
Quit looking over like you're talking to somebody else.
Stop breaking the fourth wall.
So what the fuck was I trying to say? Like, I don't want to stop drinking because to me, it's never been an issue. It was an issue one time in my life, and that's when I got the DUI. That was just fucking stupid. I just made a bad decision.
Yeah. Even the police said you slipped on ice.
Yeah,
Just
the
sucks
police
the
could
other
not
part.
believe I was drunk.
Right.
They were like, no
Because
fucking
you
way.
passed all the tests other than a breathalyzer.
Yeah, I
obviously.
passed everything but the breathalyzer.
Yeah.
And they were like, no fuck. They were like, if you didn't take the breathalyzer, we would have sent you home.
Right.
I was like, well, I had to because I have a CDL. So
Right. And that's
me.
zero tolerance, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
but so like, there's people that we hang out with that should stop drinking, but I don't think I'm one of them because
Yeah.
I drink twice a month, maybe 3 times a month,
Right.
and it's a few small. Like lately, I've been drinking seltzers because I'm getting a little more femme in my old age,
Yeah. Oh, you know.
and like that's it. Like I'll have like 3 seltzers on a weekend, and that's
Yeah.
it. So I don't. They're fun for me. I don't like drinking.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a fun time.
It's never taken over my life.
I've
whatsoever.
never had a point where it was never like, this is how I unwind.
Yeah.
So I can't understand.
Yeah, you don't associate it the way I do.
Sitting down and like, just unwind, have a beer.
See, I can't do that though. I can't just sit and like watch TV and have a beer.
Right, yeah.
I have to be in a social setting.
Sure.
I will not drink alone.
You're literally a social drinker.
Yeah, if I drink alone, I feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm like,
I would
I'll do
feel that
mushrooms
way,
alone.
too. Yeah.
But that's because I'm talking to Jesus.
Right. Well, I have been I've been held hostage by my vacuum before. I'm not proud to say, but that's the fun of doing drugs alone.
But yeah, no, I like if I was just to stay home tonight and play video games with you,
Yeah.
no drinks.
Right.
But now that I get to see you and I get to hang out, drink.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
probably what you need to do. I mean, but I think because my mentality,
I wish more people could do that, but a lot of people can't flip that switch.
right. Well, growing up, it was, and I feel like, again, why you won't cross that barrier is because we've seen what alcoholism can do.
I know real alcoholism.
Right. And not for
I was
nothing-
I was forged in it.
I think that's why you didn't drink till you were 21. I didn't drink till I was
22.
26. Like,
Oh yeah, it's 21.
because I couldn't understand that, you can do this
22.
and you can actually not go insane and let it ruin your life.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to where we were able to do that and nothing really negative happened.
Yeah, we don't use it as a coping mechanism.
Right, we use
Like,
it to just have a good
yeah,
time.
it's-
And it
it's
lowers
a-
your inhibitions.
It's an enhancer.
And like we
for
said,
me.
we are shy. We can be shy,
Extremely shy.
reserved people, and it does. Like for me, it loosens my lips. Like,
Oh, yeah.
how many times have we gone to the bar and I don't even make it inside, and I've got a whole new group of people to talk to.
Yeah, I'm so opposite.
Yeah.
Like, it opens me up with you guys,
Yeah.
but strangers, I'm still like.
And I'm like, let's go. Meet
I'm at the bar. I'm
strangers.
like, why is this person talking to me?
Yeah.
Like,
See, that's what I like, and I think that's why it's easy to say I have no interest in it, is
Yeah.
because I only associate it with big grand gestures of let's go out, let's get crazy, like not crazy,
Yeah,
but like,
we
let's
don't-
make a scene, let's meet a bunch of people, let's have an uncomfortably fun time.
I feel like if you came to more shows with me, you'd drink more because
Now,
it does enhance music.
I do like
It
going
fucking
to a
makes
show and
shows
drinking.
so much better.
Yeah, it's fun to drink at a show, but my also thing too is
I've been doing a
now.
bunch of shows sober, and it's just like,
Yeah, but I can also see like we're also in our 40s now, and it's like I feel like getting a DUI now is way worse.
well, now we got Ubers,
Sure,
a lot less to worry about.
yeah, but you're not driving to a concert in the city and then Ubering home.
No, but
Was that your point? You just flailed your arms out
yeah,
and your bones
you
off
could-
cracked.
but yeah, you could. Is what I'm saying.
You
and we're
could.
old enough, and we have enough bank account where you can grab a hotel in the city now if you absolutely have to.
And that's true. And
Like,
that's never come up, but it is an option.
Yeah,
It's a viable option.
it's come up with us. Like, well, not you, but
Yeah.
me and other people that I go to concerts with. We're like, should we just grab a fucking hotel? Because
Yeah.
probably shouldn't drive home. But
And
then
I-
we just don't drink for a few hours. We're like, all right, we can make it. We're fine.
Yeah.
Like, we know our limits and what we can do.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we've never been like
We got this. At least me and you, we have this weird ability where we can shut off drunk.
Yeah. Not for nothing. I think that's because we were raised around alcoholics.
Yeah.
Because my Uncle Bill was notorious for that. Like he could be falling down shithouse, and if push comes to shove or somebody needs him, in a second he's just like, let's go do it.
Yep. And it's not like, I'm not exaggerating. It's
No.
not like I could drive home. I know
Yeah.
it. It's like a holy shit. I just wasted all that money because now I'm sober.
Right. Yeah.
But I can do that with mushrooms too, though. Like, I could be fucking peeking, and something serious will happen. I'm like, no more tripping. We're done.
Right. But I think
It's fucking weird.
I think there's something to that. And I'd be curious if other people feel that as well, because if you lean into it, it's way more intense.
Yeah.
And you can really like get lost in that, and that's the whole point of why we're doing it in the first place, is to experience it. So just on the same idea, on the flip side, is being like, okay, well now I have to be done with it.
Yeah.
Let's turn it off. I've got other shit to take care of.
Right.
So I agree. It is insane,
But
it
that's
does exist.
rare to have to get to that. Usually, you know, like I don't drink enough now when I go out to shows that I get drunk even.
Yeah.
Like it's just to have something in my hand while I'm listening to my bands.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll have 2 rum and cokes over a 4-hour period.
Yeah. Even like I've been like falling over pretty drunk, and like it still doesn't change like who you are as a person. Like last time, what did we see? Guttermouth at Brower House?
Is that the last time you fucking drank?
No. But it was a time when I was really
like
drunk.
6 years ago.
And that one lady was not okay. And she kept talking to me. Oh, that's when I met Mark from Guttermouth. We were talking because he was going
when
to
JT
Australia.
did the front flip?
No,
off
that
the
was
bar?
the first time.
Oh.
When JT kicked Mark in the
Yeah, he
face.
front flipped off the bar and kicked him in the face.
Do you remember too? Mark looked right at us and was like, ah! No, this was the second time Mark was at the bar because the show was over. He was just hanging out, having he wasn't even drinking because he's sober.
He's not sober.
Well, that night he
must
was
have
probably
been
drinking. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not making shit up. Yeah, but even like this girl, I ended up. She kept trying to get me to come to her house.
You never go.
No.
You pussy.
I talked Sarah into driving her home because I'm like, she cannot.
Holy shit. Yep, I remember all this now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I was like, go dude.
Even Mark was like, nice, dude. And I was like, because that's about as much as I could talk. But I was still like, no, we got to get her home. Like, it's the right thing to do. I've never picked somebody up at a bar.
Yeah.
It does not appeal to me at all. But the work that goes into it is so fun.
I've never either, actually.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of people at the bar.
Me too.
I've taken a lot of people to the bar.
Right.
But I've never met someone at the bar
Yeah.
and then done a thing.
Yeah, me neither.
Huh. I didn't realize that till right now.
Really?
I'm not that bad.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about, like...
Yeah.
You
Or maybe I'm just not that good.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate.
Maybe I'm spending too much time with your dumb ass.
What?
I'm like flirting with you instead of the girls.
Listen, I appreciate that.
Or we creep them out.
Yeah, well, they're probably like, these guys are definitely going home together.
Yeah, these guys they're going to be a sweaty sleeping bag.
This is a sweaty meat sandwich. I don't want to be the bread. Just probably for the best.
Yeah.
The point is, we used to be fun and now we're not.
You're not. I still enjoy my weekends.
Yeah, I enjoy my weekends. They're just different now. Like,
Yeah, you play D&D sober.
I haven't played D&D in so long, for starters, guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. You play tabletop games.
Yeah, that's
every
right.
weekend.
Show some respect. I love tabletop games, though.
I've tried.
You haven't.
I've gone to like a bunch.
You've showed up at the house, talk shit,
Yep.
and then watch YouTube videos.
That's right. I tried.
I hate everything about everything you do.
It's just, I don't know. I don't have the patience for those games. I guess is what it would be.
Well,
Like we alluded to earlier, like I can't be sitting, I can't be
Right.
doing nothing.
not for nothing, a lot of the stuff like that me and Walsh really enjoy are bigger,
Yeah.
spacier
Like,
games that have a lot of downtime.
And you got to build these backstories.
We don't have to, but it's the best part.
You do.
I love it.
Like, you have to build these backstories.
Bruh, I sit here, if I have free time and not doing anything,
Yeah.
in my phone right now, I have at least 7 characters with unique backstories written in case I need NPCs for anything, because I love creating characters and I love writing. It's fun to
Yeah,
me.
no, we're different.
Yeah, creating characters is my favorite part.
I rode my hog here.
I like
With
motorcycles
beers in a
too.
backpack.
Yeah, I like motorcycles too.
Fucking. You're over here like, I wonder what my mage is gonna do this weekend.
What? No, maybe I'm making a character that's an outlaw and rides a motorcycle. You know?
It's just weird. Where did we veer off? Well, I guess when Dana told you were an obnoxious piece of shit.
Yeah, we
Damn.
pinpointed it today.
Why didn't she tell me?
I feel like you were standing right next to me.
I probably just didn't hear because I was probably too drunk.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you piece of shit. You're a problem.
And like I said, it's probably taken way out of context in the first place. It was just something that I was probably already insecure about and created. Based on what she said, I probably created that in my own brain.
Yeah, you do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, are you telling me that I'm insecure and kind of broken?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let's talk about you for a minute.
Let's not.
Yeah. The world wants to know.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
They think they do.
They do.
They.
What happened to you, buddy?
Who hurt you?
Yeah. You and I we're still the same. It's just you have accepted being old.
I've not accepted being old. I feel like I do what I want to do.
Yeah, okay.
That thing just doesn't, like...
You're right.
And not for nothing, it will come up, like, we went out for St. Patrick's Day.
You're one of those rare cases that you're doing what you want to do.
Right.
I've talked to a lot of, not anybody in particular,
Yeah.
but I've talked to a bunch of people that are our age that are like, my fucking kids and this
Right,
and that.
and the family.
Like,
you know.
to be fair, our friend group pretty much loves all their kids.
Yeah,
and they like their lives.
Well, you said
but like
pretty
people I
much,
work
yeah.
with and stuff that are my age,
Right.
like they fucking can't stand their lives.
Right.
They can't stand that they're 40s.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, oh, like I'll tell them about my, like the small talk when they're standing next to my fucking truck. I'll
Yeah.
tell them about my weekend. They're like, what the fuck? Like, you did all that? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I fucking built my motorcycle. And then after that, I fucking went and took my car to get a car wash. And then I went to a punk rock show. And they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, what's wrong?
But I think that speaks volumes as to how we've lived our lives. Like, we may have had these hardships, but we didn't buy into society's ideas of where you're supposed to be at a certain time in your life.
That's also part of how I was raised too, though. Because the guy that raised me, Mark,
Yeah.
like, he was a big biker guy, motorcycle. He was into Harleys, did all the rallies and all NASCAR races and all this cool shit, NHRA races.
Yeah.
He also worked 60 plus hours a week as a mechanic, but his weekends and like his free time, he was like, I'm not fucking settling. I want to go do fun shit.
Yeah.
So that's another part of like, I guess where I get it.
Yeah. I think that there's something to that too, because I do have that, but my goal is to make more money and work less so I can do the things that I want. Because I've never been a career person.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm going to dedicate my life to this, build it up, and
Yeah, I'm not
whatever.
that either.
I can't work 100 hours a week trying to build something. It doesn't appeal to me. I just want to make a lot of money and work the least amount as possible to live comfortably and focus on the things that I think are important.
Right.
And I feel
I
like
wish I
that's
could work
you know,
less.
what I do.
I mean, I could work less. I wish I could do my job and work less.
Right. That's probably not realistic.
Yeah, it's not realistic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be there 60 hours a week,
Yeah.
but I enjoy my paychecks.
Right. I enjoy your paychecks.
A lot of people enjoy my paychecks.
Yeah.
A lot more people than should.
Yeah.
I'm like a charity a lot of times.
Charity.
It's annoying.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's the tabletop games are fun. Like, plus it's the group. Like, I get to hang out with Walsh
I know.
and Yunker.
That's why the only reason I come over is because I'm like, this is a chance to see
It's
my
where
boys.
they're gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and my sister and Mike and Katie.
love-
Even Katie comes and plays. Like, I wouldn't see them otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's awesome, and the games they're super fun if you lean into it. Again, I 100% understand some of the stuff we play is heavy, and there's certain games that even like, and it's not a dig at anybody, but I wouldn't play certain games with Katie or Yunker because they're gonna be too big and involved, and you can know what they're gonna enjoy and what they're not gonna enjoy. Or you can even just ask them and be like, "Hey, this is what this game is."
Well, to be fair, I don't even enjoy like shoots and ladders.
Well, yeah, because they're terrible.
I just cannot get into I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a visual thing or like I need to be stimulated. Like I love video games. I'll play video games with you every time you ask me to.
Yeah.
But tabletops, I'm like,
See, and I
have to move the pieces. Ugh.
I have a strong differentiation between video games and tabletop games also because like video games are a lot of it is solo play. And a lot of the board games I own will have specific stuff for a solo campaign. I could never play a board game by myself.
That's absolute psychotic, but
I agree. But there's like people do it and people love it. And I'm like, I cannot.
no. That's serial killer shit.
You think I'm going to spend an hour setting up a game, play it alone, and then spend an hour putting it away?
They probably don't put it away.
Probably just leave it out.
Yeah.
That's probably true. A lot of stuff is episodic. So. Yeah. But like, it's stupid that I draw that line.
Yeah.
But I 100% do. I'm like, there's no way. Like,
you just opened up a whole new world of weirdo to me.
Often to myself, I'll be like, all right, I'm not like these people. But I'm pretty close. Yeah. But like, didn't you do the murder mystery thing?
Yeah, that was fun.
That's a tabletop game.
Though.
A lot of games are like that.
There was two murder. We did one where it was just clues and stuff.
Yeah.
Like we just sat in our chairs.
Yeah. And
clues were presented throughout the game. But then we did one at Walsh's where there was acting out things, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
I like that. That's great.
I don't think you've seen some of our funner games because they require a bigger
Funner
group.
is not a word.
What?
Funner is not a word.
More fun.
Thank you.
Sorry. Bro, when I sit and think about how bad I am at talking, just on the show of episodes that exist, it makes me really mad at myself.
Yeah.
How many words I've said wrong, or like misused, or can't pronounce. And I'm like, it's just out there now. Yeah. What did my sister tell me? I was talking about my grandparents lived in Lampe, Missouri. When I did an episode with Sasha, and I kept calling it Lansing, and I didn't catch it at all.
Sounds better. Lansing's Michigan, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The point is, I'm not smart.
Nope. Me too.
Yeah, but the bigger point is, a lot of those funner. I did it again. I walked right into it. Those more fun games require bigger groups, but you haven't played a game like Cashing Guns with us or Resistance. Those I think you absolutely love because they are interactive and there's more people and it's just such a ridiculous stuff. In Cashing Guns, you literally get to point a gun at somebody every time.
Not supposed to unless you're ready to pull the trigger.
It doesn't have a trigger; it's foam. But
yeah, foam guns.
Yeah,
that's cute.
The point is that it's a game that takes place. You're a part of a crew, and the game starts after a heist. And now we're divvying stuff up, and everybody wants the most loot.
Got it.
The point is, you should be getting excited.
I just want friendship at the end of it all. Like, we just robbed those guys together.
Yeah. The real treasure is the friendship we made along the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The point is, games are awesome.
Yeah, I obviously rag on you, but I love that you do it.
It's fun.
I love that you guys all do it.
I've been trying to talk Washington to do a D&D cruise.
Oh my god. Well, that's got to be the
smelliest?
No. Yes, now.
Bunch of basement dwellers.
I just can't imagine what that cruise would be like. Awkward? I don't know. What would the interactions be like? Like when you get up from the table and you have to mingle with other people.
I think that there's.
I don't feel like a lot of D&D people are minglers.
Well, I think that there's a stereotype.
There's a new wave of D&D.
100%, and that's the thing is I think there's a stereotype that doesn't actually exist anymore. I'm sure it's still there, but it's not as prevalent as it might have been 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There's so many famous people that are pretty amazing. Henry Cavill is a 40K guy. Like, he loves it. And if you bring it up, he, gets so excited. So I feel like there's definitely a movement. Man. Oh, yeah, he's way too handsome.
If I had to rate most handsome men,
yeah,
I'm probably putting him number 1 or 2.
Now, I like where this is
The
gone.
Witcher.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite pivot we've ever done. Who are the top 3 roughly.
Of my gorgeous men?
Of your gorgeous men.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's hard to not put Henry Cavill up there somewhere. Pretty close.
Oh, fuck.
But also because he's cool as shit. Like,
Yeah.
he's a good-looking man, and he just seems like such a cool guy.
Yes. Man.
It's tough.
It is tough. I'm going to probably put him at number 1.
Yeah. I think that's safe.
With the Witcher hair.
Yeah?
Shirtless in the hot tub.
Really?
Goddamn.
You haven't thought about this at all.
If I ever had a gay moment,
Yeah.
that's where I want to go.
That's where I want to go. Yeah.
Number 2. Fuck. I probably have to go with funny on this one.
Yeah? Who's a good-looking, funny man?
Good looking funny man. Jeez. I'm going to say either Dave Franco or
Dave Franco's a good-looking
Ryan
kid.
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is good. Not for nothing.
They both hit me in my funny bone.
There's somebody that hits me in my funny bone when it calls for it, but also I feel like has that deepness to him also.
Okay.
I'm going to take him on a date.
Okay.
Zac Efron.
Yeah.
He's just
He got a little too big for me here.
Yeah?
Like in was that the wrestling movie?
Oh, I didn't see
The Golden
it, but
Claw,
yeah, Iron Claw.
Iron Claw.
Yeah.
A little too big for me there.
Oh, like physically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Like when I watch this show,
I like a man with muscles, but that's like too much.
Yeah.
Like-
It is a bit much.
I would say my ideal Zac Efron would be like Bad Grandpa. Like maybe Baywatch. He's a little heroin-y
Yeah.
in Baywatch.
I mean,
like
Neighbors,
muscular heroin.
He looks good in Neighbors.
Yeah.
He just looks like a regular guy until the end.
Yeah. He's doing his Abercrombie.
Yeah. But his show on Netflix too. I'm like, man, he's a good dude.
And then third, I would probably have to do like an everyman that
Yeah.
I would love to date.
Who checks all the boxes?
Maybe Jason Segel.
Ooh, that's an
Because
interesting
he's funny.
choice.
He's not overly attractive, but he's like traditionally attractive.
He's approachable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's tall.
He's very
Makes
tall.
me feel safe.
Yeah.
Because I'm short.
You are a little man.
Yep.
We're the same height.
5'10".
Yeah, we're the same height.
I think I'm shrinking.
But you have that weird torso.
It's not. That's twice.
It's a real thing.
What do I look like on my motorcycle? Do I just look like legs on a motorcycle?
Like a dwarf. You have to come to D&D so you can learn what a dwarf is.
Just legs on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And a helmet.
Also, it pisses me off that you don't love D&D because you love Lord of the Rings. Like, you're the same nerd as us. You just won't
I
commit to
know about me. But if I let go of that, then what do I have to make fun of you for?
I guess that's true.
Who's your top 3 dudes?
I don't know. I like this list. I don't know if I could Jason Segel.
Really?
I think it's
Even though you saw his dick in
yeah.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
Good dick.
I mean, man, it's definitely he's no slouch.
Seen a lot of dicks.
Yeah, too many probably some would say.
To have a dick that's decent soft, you're like, all right, this guy's probably pretty sweet.
Yeah, impressive, really. I remember watching it and be like, oh, I'm in more trouble than I realized.
Yeah.
But I think I'd probably go with a silver fox.
Oh,
Somebody like a Keanu Reeves.
shit.
Yeah.
Is he silver though? He's not.
But I just mean he's old.
I get that, but like
I think he just turned.
when I think
he
silver
just turned
fox, I
50
think of
or
like
60.
a traditionally gray man.
Yeah. I mean, here's the left field. Don Cheadle.
Ooh.
Don Cheadle is a beautiful man.
Yeah.
And another one that seems cool as shit, but like also gets shit done.
Yeah. Snatch.
Yeah.
I really like him in Snatch.
Yeah, he's really good in that. Is that Snatch? Or is it the other one?
You had one fucking job to do.
I just watched that
Isn't that
recently.
Snatch? No, that's Ocean's 11.
Yeah, that's Ocean's
I was
11.
way off.
Yeah, Snatch is great though for different reasons.
Yeah. So you've got Keanu,
Yeah.
wiry body.
Wiry body.
Don Cheadle,
Yeah.
wiry body.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Sounds like you're a bit of a power top.
Yeah. I could probably be a power bottom.
I
I don't
don't think you are.
I don't know the mechanics of
I think
what
you
that
like
means.
tossing little wiry men around.
I don't know what the mechanics of what that means in this situation.
Okay, so who?
So I don't want to
for your
speculate.
third. I want you to pick a man who would just flail you around. like if you had to choose a beefy fella to toss you around,
Yeah.
who would it be? I know you watch a lot of beefy fellas every Monday.
I do watch big men slapping man meat. Almost every single day.
You watch men dance in their underpants every Monday.
Yeah. Also, don't disrespect. Wrestling's amazing.
I don't disrespect it.
Well, you're wrong.
I should disrespect it?
No.
Wait, you're saying I do disrespect it?
No. I'm saying wrestling's amazing.
I said that. I didn't say it, but I mean it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, when you talk wrestling, it's easy to think of like a Drew McIntyre, but then you're also like, I love him, but then you also have to listen to his Scottish
What about
accent.
Cody Rhodes' blue eyes?
Cody Rhodes he's a good looking man, but he also has a lisp.
Ugh, I'm out.
It's very judgmental of you.
I don't care.
This is
A
going
lisp,
off the rails.
ain't it? Yeah, we started with my mom dying.
Yeah, and now we're. What were we talking about?
I don't know. This is why our podcasts go 3 hours.
Yeah, this is stupid. I do still want to make our own show and our own podcast.
Yeah.
Every episode would just be fucking.
We
dumb.
came into this. You wanted to talk about my mom and like follow up with what? Because we mentioned my mom.
We did
on my episode.
And
You were like, I don't want to get into it yet.
Yeah, we kind of because shit was happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of glossed over it.
And then
that was the main focus, and I wanted to pull that thread about our self-deprecating and our dads.
Yeah.
Kind of our upbringing, and we pulled on that.
And you kind of wanted to tie it into how that led into our shenanigans through life.
Yeah, and we only told one story really, but
Yeah,
that
we told a
was
couple.
probably the best story we have. I don't know what I want to end on.
I don't either. We could talk about why you are the way you are, because the world keeps asking, when are you going to do your own episode? Are you going to do one?
We're doing this episode.
Is this kind of it?
Well, this episode is to avoid doing that one.
That's fine.
It's
your show.
Sure, but I've said for the last couple. So I recorded a lot early because I was on break from work and everything, so I wanted to get as much done as I could, and so that I only had one spot to fill, and this is that spot. I was putting together ideas and wanted to do a solo episode, and I had some things
I'm
kicking
surprised
around.
you didn't even touch on it with Sarah.
Well, I wanted to stay focused on them.
Right. But you're part of them.
Sure, but one of the things that I worry about with the show is that I feel like I already interject too much.
Okay.
Because it's a conversation, I'm trying to relate, and I worry that I do that too much, or that that's what I worry about becomes repetitive. Is I'm making the same points because I'm not changing, the guest is changing, so I feel like every episode I'm like, me too, guy, and that just sounds annoying.
I like it.
Well, I'm sure it's not as bad as I think.
It's not.
Or other people listening to this will be like, it's pretty bad.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody does.
I hope not. But
I think people are genuinely interested in your story and how I know a lot of people have perceptions of you, and like you said, even you alluded to, you're kind of standoffish and quiet and this and that.
and so if I'm engaged, I'm a motor mouth.
Right.
But if I'm not, I'm very whatever.
Which I think this show actually has flipped a lot of people, because a lot of people, until you started this podcast, didn't know shit about you.
That's probably true. Yeah.
And they were just like, oh, he's the guy who comes around.
Yeah.
And gets fucked up with Jay at parties.
Right. Fucks up parties with Jay. Yeah.
But like you've had these incredible friendships for all these years, and I feel like me too. Like I feel when my episode came out, a lot of people were like, "Holy shit, dude! I didn't know that."
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, how did you not know that? We've been friends for 20-something years.
Yeah.
But then I realized I don't talk about me much.
Right. And it's not like it comes up like, even when people come up and like, hey, how you doing? I'm very, push that aside. Like, hey, whatever, man. Like, and then I'll engage them, and then we go from there. Like, I always throw it back at whoever's talking to me, and never get into my own shit.
Yeah.
If somebody, they have to come back like a few times, and so I'm like, all right, clearly they want to
What
hear
episode
something.
is this?
Yeah. What?
What episode is this?
What do you mean?
Like, what number are you up to? This would be like, what, 52? Something like that?
There was... Season 1 has 26 episodes. There was a bonus episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then Season 2 has 26 episodes. This is episode 25.
Yeah, so 51.
No.
25 and 25 plus
20.
1. Bonus 1.
No. 25 plus 26 plus a bonus 1.
Have you done the 26? Isn't the 26 going to be the next
First season has 26.
Uh-huh.
And then this season, this is the 25th.
Look, I'm not a calculator.
I know, but you...
But what I'm getting at is you've had damn near 60 episodes
50-some episodes.
of people coming back, and you've given them nothing.
I feel like, again, I'm giving too much because I'm interrupting other people with my own bullshit or interjecting. And
You're just
feel
giving
like...
your opinion. You need to give them your life. You don't need to. You don't need to do shit. I'm just an idiot.
Yeah.
I just love you, and I want your story to be out there because you have a great story, and I love you, and
Yeah.
a lot of people love you, and you've gotten everybody else's story, and your story's great too. You're like, I'm sitting in your potential office in this insane fucking building. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in a real doctor's office right now that my friend is going to be taking over.
Well,
Potentially.
I'm 100% not a doctor. And
No, I'm not saying you're a doctor. But this is a doctor's setting office.
Yeah. This is a professional setting.
Like, you're not the same dumb shit I worked at pounding holes through concrete walls at Circuit City.
First of all, I will still
Yeah.
pound holes in concrete walls.
I just say, like, you have a great story too, and I would love for people to be able to hear
We're
it.
alluding to there's some things a brewing that will not come up until later.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that you try to remain so surface level because it's your show and
Yeah, but
it's not about you.
I think if
it's
I had
about
to
the
like,
guests. I get it.
I think if I had to dig deeper into like what I'm apprehensive about, it's not even that I'm apprehensive really. It's that when I'm talking to somebody, and this is kind of like what Andy was making fun of me the other day, like saying that the show is basically me sucking my guest's dick.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that. You just told me.
Yeah, that's true. Not allowed to talk about that.
No dick stuff.
But I worry that if I did a show about myself with myself, it's
that's
gonna
weird.
It's gonna be the normal self-deprecating, negative, glaring look, or just a trauma dump. And I don't. I'm the hype man in a sense when I'm with somebody else, and I'm trying to. The whole goal of the show is to elevate.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to elevate as best I can, even through like heavy bullshit. Even like, because we talk about a lot of traumatic things here, but every single person that we've gotten into heavy shit with, we can bawl our eyes out, but we're laughing our asses off. And that's important to me because I wouldn't want just one of anything. I want it to be like a human experience. And that's what being a human is like. Sometimes you cry your eyes out. Most of the time, you're laughing as much as possible.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to lose that. And then like to kind of counteract that, it would have to involve somebody else. And then like I've had a dozen people want to facilitate that. My latest
You need to have a gangbang. Where like you get like 7 of us and we just ask you about your life.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome.
And you just sit in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, so that's the other thing I worry about is that. But I can get over that. I do still like and want to do solo episodes as they come up. But I've been lucky enough to have a lot of receptive people that are willing to do the show, especially now like that it's been out long enough too that I feel like people are like, okay, I can see what the show is. Because I'm still not smart. When I reach out to somebody, I'm like, hey, do you want to be on my show? And that's it.
you don't explain it?
I don't explain anything.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I've had people be like, I don't want to go on there and just trauma dump, like, and just pity party myself. I'm like, that's not what it is.
Like, yeah, don't do that.
Like, that was just an idea he kicked around at the beginning, but it turned into a positive. Like, this show is positive.
I'm so glad that I let it evolve into what it needed to be instead of like trying to push that.
Yeah, and like, I don't know if people know this, but you don't guide. Like, you don't tell people like, hey, I want to talk about this. Like, you're just like, hey, whenever you're comfortable telling me about your story, like, about how you became who you are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Yeah,
like,
even if stuff comes up, I'm like, do you mind explaining that to your comfort level?
Yeah, and you tell everybody before you even start recording, like, hey, if there's shit you don't want to touch on, like, let me know, and I will steer clear. Or if you touch on something just randomly through conversation and you don't want it in there, you've gone back and edited, a few times. Like, whole sections, whole podcasts. You've thrown away whole podcasts because
whole show. Yeah. Well, that might still come to fruition. We'll see.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, the people that are hesitant, like I said it last time too, like this, it's just him sitting in a room just bullshitting, man. Yeah. It's so much fun.
Yeah, like, I have a good time.
And if anybody knows me, I fucking hate talking. Like, the whole point of this podcast was how we self-deprecate. Yeah. And I hate talking about myself.
Then we sat here for 2 hours self-deprecating.
Yeah. Like, so if I can fucking do it, like.
Yeah, and I also think that, like, I can understand not wanting to get into personal things, and I think that there's a way to do that. Like, when I did an episode with Kristen, I thought that was a great episode. And she was hesitant for the first season because she didn't want to get into a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, we can still have an amazing conversation and not dig into the hows and whys.
Right.
As opposed to somebody like Felice, who's incredibly open and has an incredibly crazy stories. Mm-hmm. And I think that can be very important for people to hear also. Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I'm comfortable sharing my shit, because I know there's people that need to hear some bullshit.
Yeah, well, and not for nothing.
My life's not all fucking flowers and
yeah, but then you hear something like like Gina and I we got very emotional too when we were going through stuff, and Felice's had stuff, and Meg's episode and stuff, like, and you can see, at least for me, I'm like, my bullshit's not anywhere near as hard as I feel it is.
Yeah,
and you kind of have that camaraderie where you're like, we've all been.
I think it is though.
Well, it is, but it's you don't want to compare traumas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's the same. It makes you feel like you're not alone.
Exactly. That's why.
And you're like, we're all having these kind of experiences in different ways, and it brings this sort of togetherness. And then you're like, okay, awesome. Like, we can stand together, and kind of get through whatever we want.
Yeah, and I think that's why our group has endured 30 plus years of friendship.
Yeah. Some of these assholes 40 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild. I'm part of that. Like, I've been friends with Sugar.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. You're right.
Since we were babies.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Like, we were neighbors. It's weird.
But it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even live, like, I lived part-time at my grandma's and part-time in Aurora. And I was...
yeah, just going back and forth.
Like him and Dave and...
Yeah.
Janoski's. Nope, not Janoski's.
No,
Josh Tooley.
They came later.
Yeah.
Because me and Dave were... He was my first friend in Oswego.
Yeah, it's weird. What a wild ride.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too. It's been an incredible ride. And that's how we'll flip it, because this ride is still going. Mm-hmm. And I fucking love this ride. Yeah. And I think it keeps getting better. And I think that it keeps going up in a positive direction for everybody. Mm-hmm. And it's like, even you and I, who are notoriously hard on ourselves, like, I feel like we're doing well and we're getting better. And I feel like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but for the first time, it feels like there's not necessarily a destination, but there's a direction.
Yeah,
and that's huge.
Especially, I'm going to speak for myself here.
Yeah.
The last 4 years have been hell.
Yeah.
Like, and as shitty as it sounds, like, my mom passing away was kind of a huge weight lifted off everything else. Like, obviously, I love my mother and I miss her every fucking day, and I see her ashes every morning when I wake up. They're right next to my bed.
Yeah.
And just, it's heartbreaking. And every time I come home from work, I say hi to her. But I know she's not suffering, and I know that for 4 years, there was literally nothing I could do.
Yeah.
Nothing I could do that was helping.
Right.
Like, I could keep her comfortable. That was it. And even then, 20 minutes go by and she's back up walking around uncomfortable. Like, help me get back into bed. Blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, it's a fucking nightmare.
Right.
And just knowing, like, now that she's hopefully in a better place. I don't know what happens. Nobody knows. But the fact that she's not suffering anymore, and I don't have to feel guilt every day that I can't make her more comfortable.
Right.
It's just been a huge weight.
Yeah.
Like, and that sounds shitty in some kind of way.
I don't think it sounds shitty. I think it's weird how we perceive death and stuff like that, but I feel like it is, seeing what she had become. I feel like, because I might have a different perspective. Because my mom's a 22 years breast cancer survivor. She's got pig valves in her heart. Like, she's had a ton of surgery. She's being held by bolts and random parts.
Yeah.
And she's very adamant. If I get sick again, I have no interest in fighting.
Yeah.
If something happens, like, she's told me very, very, she's like, because I'm the POA, she's like, I need you to understand, I've had the best life I've ever wanted. I got to do everything I ever dreamed of, and I fucking loved every second of it. Do not fight for me to stay here. Jeez. Let me go when it's time to go.
Yeah.
Do not fuck this up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got it. And like that, I think that there's something freeing and beautiful about that. Like, the way we perceive relationships in life here is different, in the grieving process, and that emptiness of losing somebody is unbearable and sucks. But to kind of step back from this plane of existence, I think is freeing, and all, like you said, she's not suffering at all anymore. I think
like,
that's good.
And if people would have seen her, you would have a better idea of what I'm talking about. Like, it was, at the end, it was terrifying. Like, the last video I have on my phone, which is fucking heartbreaking, is her walking around the house at night, talking to her brothers and sisters, screaming out the door like she's yelling down the stairs, and she's just completely lost, and it's just so heartbreaking to see.
Yeah.
And just to know that she's not dealing with that anymore. Like, there's something in there that feels good.
Right, yeah.
As weird as that is to say. Yeah. Like, I don't know. And it sounds selfish, but I feel like I can finally go forward with my life. Because I put everything on hold. And even a couple years before that, because I was dealing with a rough relationship, I put a lot of things on hold to make sure a lot of things were okay for other people.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is the first time I'm going to go ahead and stretch it to almost 10 years where you can finally, you're in a place just now to focus on yourself from what might be the first time in your life. Because you've always been taking care of somebody. Yeah. Like, even before, like, in the old days, like, when your mom had various, like, not various, that sounds terrible, but, like, boyfriends and stuff. It's always been you and your mom. Yeah. So in some way or another, you guys were taking care of each other.
Back when my mom was hoeing.
Yeah. Exactly. But now is, like, really the first time in your life where you can kind of, and this kind of goes back to what we were talking about, the people that you talk to out in the world that are, like, miserable. Yeah. Because they woke up and they were in their 40s and realized that they did what society dictated, not what they wanted to do. Yeah. And now you kind of have that point now where you can be like, what do I actually want?
It's a really weird feeling.
It is.
And, like, not to negate the past 10 years, I knew what I was doing.
Sure. Yeah.
I was,
getting yelled at a lot by me.
Yeah, I have never done anything that I didn't want to do. Sure. I feel like a lot of people think I've just been taken advantage of. Yeah. And this and that, but no, it comes from a place of knowing what it's like to be abandoned, to be given up on. Yeah. And I never wanted anyone else to feel like that. Yeah. And I would put myself out for anyone. Not just specific people, like literally anybody, So I don't know, man, like it is really weird to finally, I don't have anyone to worry about right now but me. Yeah. It's weird. It's uncomfortable.
So excited.
I know you are. You tell me all the time.
To see what that leads to next. So, as I've already said a million times, I do watch a lot of motivational videos, which are just like snippets of things. I watch them in short little 5 to 10 minute things. But there's one of my favorite little quotes. It's actually it's an alarm on my phone. For like, you know
what an alarm is?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. You got it.
I've seen one.
Yeah, but when the guy comes out, he's just like, I didn't come this far to come this far. Yep. That's one of my favorite fucking sayings right now that I keep going back to. Is like, because it's huge. Yeah. Because it acknowledges how far you've come, and that we're nowhere near where we're headed.
I have a weird. outlook on that.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I've gotten to come anywhere yet. I feel like I'm just starting.
Right.
So
But you had to go through all the stuff of learning boundaries and dealing and taking care of your moms and dealing with toxic relationship and things like that. That's what you've come through. You've come this far, but you didn't come this far to come this far.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense when you put it that way.
Yeah.
I was thinking of it as like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Like I was, self-deprecating. I'm like, I haven't done shit. Yeah. We're just starting to do shit.
Well, not for nothing. That's just as powerful.
I guess, yeah.
You've only just begun.
Man, I almost started singing.
We've only just
You did it. Yeah. So, and am I weird for having like I feel bad that I don't have anyone else to worry about. Like it's a weird like I don't like feeling selfish, but I know that I'm not.
Right.
But I feel like I am.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I think that, well...
Help me, Dr. Tim.
Yeah, for me, again, being an absolute moron, I feel like there's two roads to that.
Yeah.
One is that you finally, for the first time, have no choice.
Like, all my problems just keep dying.
You probably in your life, for the first time, you have no choice but...
Just gotta outlive my problems.
To look at yourself.
Yeah.
Which is something you don't like to do.
Yeah.
And now you have nothing to do but that.
Ugh.
Which is what you've realistically needed for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I
agree.
That's one way to look at it. And I think that there's probably some truth to that. But I to me, it's an opportunity. It's an amazing opportunity.
That's why I keep people like you around.
Why?
Because you say things like that. Whereas I'm in my truck all day going, what the fuck do we do now, idiot?
Yeah.
But you guys are like,
well, the good
a lot of you guys are like,
life goes forward no matter what.
Yeah. We talked about the other day. Time's still going to happen.
Exactly. And that's the other thing that's important too that I like is like when you think about once you start setting goals and where you want to be and the things you want to do, and it's easy to get caught and be like, but it's gonna take so long. Like the time's gonna pass either way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can head in the direction.
You take the time learning the thing to get you where you want,
right.
Or that time is gonna pass either way.
You're gonna complain
or
about
you
how
can
long
spend
it
that
takes.
time not doing shit.
Yeah,
talking about how long it's gonna take to get there.
I guarantee you, in 6 months, a year, 5 years, you're still gonna be saying the same thing. You could have been there.
I will say, like, as uncomfortable as it makes me, it is exciting to be learning about myself.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. You know me more than probably anybody that listens to this.
You're my favorite person.
That's disgusting. You got a real sad outlook on life.
Haven't you been listening?
But like, it's terrifying. I tell you every day. I'm scared of. I've never not had to be there for someone else. Like I've even talked about that in the last episode. I've always been someone else's something.
Yeah. And
I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I know it's good.
It's healthy,
but I don't know how to deal with it.
The good news is that you have no choice because you're literally doing it right now.
I know, it's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm excited about it, but it's just...
Yeah. I think it's a good thing.
Gives me the heebies.
I'm excited to see what comes next.
Me too. My plans. Plans are good.
Plans are good.
Yeah, like, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
How easy they are to get to.
Yeah. I think before we veer off again, I'm so sorry about this episode.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Another 3 hours of bullshit.
It's gone all over the place. Like,
sorry, that's what happens when we hang out. You should hear our fucking PlayStation conversations.
Our actual conversations. Oh man.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but I think we should end there because just being excited about the future is such a.
For the first time in a long time, I am.
That's such a step up from the last episode in general.
Yeah.
Of just kind of like.
Yeah. Turns out all I needed was for my mom to kick it, and then I could be excited about life again.
I think that's an oversimplification, but it might be a catalyst. Because it will change your perspective on everything. Yeah. And a lot of things kind of all happened at once, like you had already said. But yeah, here's to the next whatever. Maybe we'll come back next season and be like, it all went tits up.
And I'll shit the bed per usual. But I just want to thank you for letting me at least get that, get it out to anybody else that might be dealing with family members that are getting, a little worse for wear in their old age. Like, one of the things we said earlier, like, keep your eye out. Yeah, because a lot of people don't take care of themselves.
Right. If you can't have a plan or start those conversations, like, it's uncomfortable, but it's... Yeah. You're going to be glad that the shit's in place.
Get life insurance. Get life insurance for your parents.
Have a fucking will.
Before they're... Because that's another thing. We wanted to get it from my mom, but she wasn't cognizant enough to sign for it. Yeah. So everyone denied us. Right. So we were left with nothing at the end.
Yeah, that sucks.
We had to pay for everything out of pocket, which adds up.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
And all the bills and everything I'm still dealing with. Yeah. And so I just want to get it out there, like, plan for the worst. I've never planned for shit in my life, but this whole experience is just, have your parents write down who their doctors are. Yeah. Have them write down emergency contacts. Write down their prescriptions, like the shit that when the ambulance comes and they need to know what they take. Right. Like, that's all shit you gotta know.
Well, that could potentially kill them if they don't know what they're on and they give them something.
It's all shit you don't think about. You never think about that.
Right. That's true.
So I just want to throw it out there. It's morbid and it sucks and it's some shit that none of us ever want to deal with. Yeah. But when it comes down to it, you're gonna probably have to. Right. Yeah. So just I want to say get your ducks in order and fucking hug your parents if they're still here. Give them a big old fucking squeeze. Yeah. Because one day you won't be able to.
That's true. Big old fucking squeeze. Moving on to better things. Yeah. And I think with that we'll fuck off.
All right, brother. I love you.
Love you too.
Later.